Shall we wait for more minutes? Okay.
Sir, I think we can just start by recollecting a few lessons in the past, so that people who join, they also like later, like maybe for a couple of.
I think that's a good idea. That's a good idea.
And we will also know how much attention is being paid.
So friends, first of all, there is something that many of you have been curious about, which is your presentation of synopsis. So we will have one more class tomorrow on open innovation, then a review, and then they will start presentation from next week. I think we are starting from 23rd, 24th. We will have presentations 25th also, I think, and then October 1st. So these are some of the dates. I will talk to Prabhat and then discuss, because we may not be able to finish the presentations in 1 or 2 days. So we have kept 3 days for presentation so that every one of you gets time. Now, what are we going to present? The presentation is about synopsis. It is not the final project. You cannot obviously finish final project. Now,
sir, yes. I'm Lavanya. I have one concern. Actually, I am going to NIT Warangal for attending some conference, sir. So I will not, that conference dates are 23rd and 24th and 25th.
All right.
25th is Sunday. I mean, I will be traveling back. Yeah. So 23rd, 24th will not
send a mail and then that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. So my suggestion will be that you can plan your presentation on October 1st then.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah. October 1st, we will keep a date for those. There was one other student who had written to me that she has some engagements. She is going to go to Telangana in Srisalam Forest. I don't know if she's in the class today. And from IICT. And she wanted to present it on the last date. So we said, all right. So on 1st of October, we can have those who need a little more time because of their work that they're doing. They can present on October 1st. But my request is that everybody should attend everybody's presentation. So again, I will repeat these. What we are expecting, I and Anamika are expecting, is that synopsis will be about what you intend to do. And please don't include topics like creating awareness about health and hygiene, creating awareness about vaccination, creating awareness about, women, gender justice or gender. We do not want such projects, because those projects would not invoke the best potential of yours, will not harness your creative advantage. So my suggestion would be, exceptions apart, though some of you can go into domains other than what your subject is. But if your own subject within the broader domain of yours, say for example, chemistry, biology, physics, whatever, if you could think of areas where you can look at problems that society is facing, the unmet needs of our society, and focus on meeting partially, if not fully, at least one of those needs. Your project should become a resource for the community, for the society at large, for their understanding and awareness of how the science serves society. Please understand how science serves society. You know that in February 2020, we had not a single PPE making facility. We didn't have a diagnostic. We didn't have vaccine. We didn't have anything. Within about 5-6 months, India started aiming at millions of people being diagnosed, millions of people being vaccinated, and very quickly we were able to achieve, you know how many? 200 crore vaccinations have been done by now. 200 crore vaccinations have been done, including first round, second round, and in some cases booster. Booster dose, unfortunately, many of you have not taken, which you should. because booster dose is very effective and has helped a lot of us from severe consequences of COVID. So I would advise. But nevertheless, the point is that science did serve in a very critical area, very critical emergency. It came to rescue. So there is already a respect for science in our society, but people do not understand how in different areas are we working. In phytochemistry, in microbiology, in dealing with problems of AMR, and now 5G is coming. And how would the transmission of 5G waves from the towers affect the people around it, if it affect or not? So what are the lessons we can learn? So NPL people, physical research scientists scholars can look at that problem, or can look at other problems. Radiation from the phone, this has been a controversial issue. All of us use phone, all of us keep it close to our body, but we have not looked at those effects systematically. So maybe in some cases, the physical science people will team up with the biological science people, maybe IMTech, maybe CMAP, maybe CDRI, maybe MBRI, and try, or NCL, and try to see whether the physical and the biological or chemical aspect can be studied properly. And something small but neat and tidy implication of how science or society can be identified. It will also be helpful for us to look at the areas where we can learn from the traditional knowledge. If in some cases you want to validate that, as some of you have written to me, that's fine. Some of you need some insights from us. We can send you some plant samples from Assam, from Kashmir, Baramulla, from West Sikkim, from Nagaland. If you want to take those samples and analyze them and find out what product can be developed, wonderful. So your project, just a few days work, a week's work, will contribute to the empowerment of the communities in this region, in the northeast, in Jammu and Kashmir, and they will be able to see how young scholars of our country are trying to add value to the knowledge of local people. Gyan will facilitate that, Anamika will facilitate that. Just send a mail to anamika@gyan.org that you are willing to take up some samples from these regions, and immediately we will get it sent within about 8 or 10 days. So it is quite possible. It is quite possible that we can help you to develop projects which are realistic, which are solving real problems. And imagine if 50 of you, let us say, or 100 of you took up problems from these 3 regions where we're working. 100 different leads can be analyzed within about 2 weeks. Nothing ever of this kind has been done, but you can make it happen. So instead of taking something trivial, something...
Sir, can I add one point?
Yeah, please go ahead. Go ahead.
So if you remember, last to last batch, there was a group of people who did... she did a project on a naval route as a drug delivery system.
Correct.
You remember? Now a startup has been launched, which only deals, I think it's called Nabhi Sutra, which only deals with products that you apply on your navel and you get like a relief.
Wonderful, wonderful. I'm so happy because I have been asking that question in my discussion with the young scholars for last several years, at least for a decade. I'm saying that our society, many of you, when you were children, did have your mother or grandmother apply asafoetida or nutmeg after rubbing it on a stone or a hard slab, and then putting in your navel root, so that when the infant is having either constipation or gastric trouble, then it helps in movement of the bowel and gives relief to the child. It can work even for the adults. So I'm so happy. But mind you, in the modern drugs, there is hardly any drug which is delivered from navel root. So as a drug delivery route, it had not been given attention. Whereas in the traditional knowledge system, it was one of the very effective drug route. So one group had done this project, I remember the year before, batch before last, second batch, I think, or third, where they had tried to work out the scientific basis of this route. So yes, Anamika, I agree. That's a good reminder. I didn't know that a startup had come up, but that shows that many of your ideas, if you do not take up as enterprise, At least these projects can trigger some other young people.
तुम खुद का हमको छुट्टी पर लेवा बर्दाश्त ना हो.
Please, Mamta, switch off your. Yeah, I've done that. So, if you do not set up enterprise yourself, somebody else may set up enterprises based on your project. So I think we should be open on that. Now let me cover Nabhi Sutra. I will also study this, and then okay, thank you. Now we will look at what we are going to do today. There are. I wanted to first tell you about Shodhyatra. In 10 minutes, I would like to tell you what we do in Shodhyatras, and then some of you are welcome to join us in our Shodhyatras. The next one is going to be in November in West Sikkim. Anybody can join. In about 2 weeks to 3 weeks, by end of September, we'll decide the date and announce it. And what is Shodhyatra? Shodhyatra, we learn from 4 teachers. One teacher is within us, the one which asks questions, which also all the time is like an auditor sitting inside, senses our behavior, asks us questions, makes our life difficult. Sometimes it also, applauds our good effort. It's not that it only does the negative censoring, but most of the time it is very critical of our action. And that criticism is emerging from within. Our own conscience, our own self is asking us questions. So this is one teacher within all of us. Every one of us has a teacher within. If we listen to him or her, then a lot of lessons can be learned. The second teacher is around us, among peers. And this teacher is in your class fellows, anybody around. The third teacher is nature. And we look at examples from nature where we can learn very meaningful lessons. Fourth teacher is among the common people. So today we have invited some of the innovators whom we met in different Shodhyatras and a few otherwise, who have solved some problem. I mean, we met a lady in Anantnag Shodhyatra way back in 2007, 15 years ago, who made an improvement in Samawar, which is the traditional way of making kehwa, the vessel that they use. She will today come to the class and explain how she added gas and what it means to her and to her community. Has she sold a few? A household lady finding a limitation of a product that she's using, trying to overcome that. Like that, there are many other examples. You will see, I'll introduce all the innovators in about 10 minutes time. The innovators will join us at 6 o'clock. So among the 4 teachers, we learn from each other, each one of them. We walk for a week, 3 times a year. In summer, we go to hot places, and winter, we go to cold places. Now, you might say, but what is this? Why should we go in summer to the hot places? The idea of going in summer to the hot places is a concept of what I prefer to call as voluntary suffering. If you go in a temperature of 40, 45 degrees centigrade in Bargar, let us say in Odisha, where we did a walk, or Bastar, or anywhere else. The last walk we had in summer was Rameshwaram in Tamil Nadu, 47th walk. Then people will not think that you have come for a picnic. They will understand. And you're coming walking, even at the time when they themselves may be taking rest at home. So the process of reaching out to people conveys the purpose. The process conveys the purpose. And it's very important that we recognize the connection between process and purpose. Very important. It is also helpful that we communicate what we want to do through a little arduous process through which we are teaching. So people, we don't have to prove our credentials. People understand in summer, if you're coming in a hot region, walking, you must be having some genuine desire to conduct, to inquire. In winter, we go to cold places. So Lahore Spiti or Gurej Valley in Jammu Kashmir or Anantnag or Mizoram or wherever, different parts. So in Sikkim, the temperature would be low in November. So we'll go in November. And we have been to different parts. So we have walked in every state of the country. We have walked sometimes twice, in few cases even thrice, and I've reached right from Andaman to Gorej Valley, from Manipur, Mizoram, all the states of Northeast, to Western India, Kutch, or for that matter, Amreli or different parts of Gujarat, of Rajasthan. All states. And what has it taught us? It has taught us some very important lesson. And third is autumn. Autumn, we go with my students at IMA to Himalaya. So that was pursued with the help of Gyan during September 2 to September 7, this month. So 3 times I would walk, once in Himalaya and twice in different parts of the country. And what is the point? We are trying to learn about local knowledge, local creativity, local innovations, and also share what we already know from other regions. We, for instance, will have posters of innovators which will hang around. And we would have already started preparing for the Shodhyatra 3 months in advance. So we would have told the women on the way and other committee members that if you have some traditional foods, traditional recipes, traditional health solutions, please share with us when we come with all the jatris, all the walkers that will come. A collective learning process together in a community, from the elders. We celebrate those who have lived for 90 to 100 years. We honor them, we touch their feet, take their blessings. I'm very privileged to have taken blessings of hundreds of such grandmothers and grandfathers of our society. And we learn from them. We will ask them, as grandpa, grandmother, if you were to teach us something, what is one advice you will give to us to live our life in a noble and a proper manner? And many of them give us advice, and sometimes they dismiss us. So I remember one grandmother I was asking for this question. I said, how can I live like you? And mind you, she said something which you might wonder, but I took it in my stride. She looked at me. She said, not possible. Now, maybe my lifestyle, maybe my work hours, maybe my food hours, all of them, she could sense that I was not following enough discipline at the time. I try to do now, but not as much as I should. Therefore, she thought that, no, it will be difficult. So they can be brusque. And I will mention one very small but insightful point about grandmothers. Most of the women, most of the people who live for 90 to 100 years are generally women. Women live longer than men, no question about it. And we have a book called The Centenarian, Shatayu, A Life Well Lived, which we will be very happy to share with any one of you. Send a mail to me. I can share a PDF with all of you if you want. It's the stories of grandmothers, mainly some grandfather, who have lived for 100 years. And one lesson which I learned, and I will like to mention to all of you, but particularly to the lady participants, women participants in our class, one thing common among all those grandmothers who lived for 100 years or 90 plus years was they were all very headstrong. So if you want to live long, you have to live at your own terms, and you have to be a woman of your own mind, of your own control. And such people, I would say even men, but we found more women who would live at their own terms. There were many who, their children were living at adjoining house, but they would still live alone. And when we asked, why don't you live with them? No. I will have to then scold them on this and that all the time. They don't like it. So I'm better off here. And they come when they want, they can come and meet me. There was one whose children were in Mumbai. And we said, why don't you go and stay with them? No. If they want to come and meet me, they're welcome. Otherwise, I'm here. And when an 80-year-old lady came to her to see her, she called Dikri. I mean, she called her like a young girl. She was 80-year-old. The lady in question was about 95. For her, she was, of course, a small lady. But the way she addressed her and talked about, most of them did not have their peers alive. Most of them had, their peers had passed away, but they were very strong-willed ladies and women. We were very proud of the lessons. But there are many other lessons. They told us about the old feminine stress, how they cope with them. So we talk to the 100-year-old or 90-year-plus old men whom we meet. We take their blessings. We talk to the children in the schools and organize idea competition. So this time, I'll tell you one idea. One girl, there are many we met, about 15 kids we met, who were outstanding. And primary school, mind you, primary school. In secondary school, we did not get as many ideas. But in primary school, we got many. So this girl, Sushma, she got up and said, you know, when my mother cooks food, she feels the heat and the fumes from the chula, from the stove. Can we not design a mask that will save her from the heat and smoke? Now look at that. Who had thought? All of us use masks and may sometimes still be using. Has any one of us thought about this mask being used for women who work in kitchen? Of course, this will not be plastic. It will be a different material. That's obvious. But question is, who has among us? Has any one of you thought about this? Please raise your hand. If anybody has thought about using masks for saving women who are cooking in an open stove with firewood and their face, skin gets affected.
Gets much more reliable.
And Javani?
Huh? Yeah.
Javani, are you saying something?
Certainly safe.
Javani? No, I think it was my mistake. Anybody else? So the point I'm trying home is that these little kids draw our attention to the problem that they are facing, the film society is facing, which we may have ignored, but they haven't. And they're bold enough to mention that. They're bold enough to rise and assert their identity and say that. So we learned a lot from children. So that's another thing we do. We also have, as I told you, we look at traditional food formulations, we meet healers and learn from them, veterinary healers, human healers. We look at sustainable agricultural practices. If somebody has used herbal pesticide, veterinary medicine, we document that. Huge database we have. We are centenarian. We also try to talk to the teachers. If there's a teacher who has brought about some innovation, then we will honor them and put a shawl or a scarf around their neck and honor them. So when we honor achievers at their doorstep, it conveys a message that if somebody comes from outside and honors the achiever of our society, shouldn't we honor them also? You know, in our society, it's a very strange culture. Unless outsiders honor, we somehow tend to have a contempt for local genius. It could even be in the professional circles, you know, many scientists, many scholars who have done outstanding work, but unless they get a recognition from outside, somehow, not in all cases, but many cases, our society is very stingy, very conjuice in miserly in recognizing our own achievers, unfortunately. So we said, all right, if that is the problem, we'll overcome it by being an outsider at the same time, recognizing the achievers of the community. We do that. We look at common property institutions also, wherever they are around and they are strong. How do people manage common property resources? A tank, common grazing land, water tank, any other facility for, let's say, composting and so on. Try to understand how people evolve rules of fairness. How do they distribute water? What is the way they avoid conflicts and manage them? We look for entrepreneurs, and recently in Sikkim, when we were there in West Sikkim, where Gyan is working with some self-help group, both in Kashmir, Sikkim, and Nagaland, we found some of the products that they have developed out of their own organic production. Sikkim, as you know, is an organic state, and they were trying to find markets for them. Now, if I ask you, has any one of you bought anything from Northeast in the last year or last 6 months or last 3 months? How many of you bought? Except those who are already from Northeast. But non-Northeast scholars, how many of you have bought anything from Northeast? So you see the point that if we don't buy anything from them, but they buy all the things from us, money goes from their pocket to our pocket, but not our pocket to their pocket. So one of the ways in which market-based models of development, inclusive development will emerge is we create opportunities for the product and processes from that region, from the bypass region, from the marginal regions to reach us. And as you know, in my book, I have said, mind on the margin are not marginal minds. In 2016, this grassroots innovation book available on Amazon. My argument was that many people, as you will meet Ragdev from Mizoram today, he has developed so many innovations. And we invited him only for that reason, so that you understand that in the margins, so-called margins of our country, great innovations are emerging which other people may not have developed so far. And low-cost one, affordable one, solving real problems. But in our image, these regions seem to be backwater of our society, not hotspot of creativity. So Shodhyatras help us to identify the hotspots of creativity in regions where nobody would possibly go sometimes. So in Bastar, you know, kind of tensions that prevail there. How many people, even from the region themselves, don't go beyond 4 kilometers from the Narayanpura or other small cities where district headquarters, Datewada or wherever. And we walked in the villages and came across outstanding examples of solution. So, for example, I'll give you one very interesting insight we learned in Bastar. So we found some graves in a village, and we didn't find any Christian or signs of Christian or Muslim community there. So we asked the people, does this grave indicate? They said, sir, when a sick person dies, we cremate. But when a otherwise healthy person dies, we bury. Now look at that. What a eclectic philosophy, that we cannot put a sick body in the Mother Earth, in the lap of Mother Earth. We will only put a healthy body, otherwise healthy body. Now, this is beyond our religions. This is beyond our contemporary consciousness. I mean, we talk to them, call them backward. They're far ahead of us. They have developed models of running their society in a manner that we cannot imagine. Another thing we found in Bastar, Narayanpura region, that there were some small temple-like structures. So there was a hunter in one temple, there was another one, some medicine man with a mortar and pestle. Somewhere there was a teacher. So we asked them, what are these temples for? Sir, whenever there is an outstanding, somebody who has served the community very well, that person passes away, we make a memorial for that person. Now ask yourself, how many such memorials have we seen in regions around us for those who serve the community? And this is a village-based institution. I've never seen that anywhere else. Wonderful. In Rameshwaram, 47th walk, we saw something that we earlier saw in Gondal in Gujarat. Similar practice in Gujarat and in Tamil Nadu. I'm told in the Kerala also you have. So every mile you find stones, Bisamo they are called in Gujarat, I'm forgetting the name in Tamil. And these are shoulder height platforms. So when women, and in some cases men, are alone, if they have weight on their head, if they bring it down, then as we know that naval movement it prevents women from getting up and alone without a help. So they will not take rest and keep walking. So these are resting points. You bend down, put the load on the stone, take rest, gas for the breath. After you have refreshed, again bend down, take it on your head, start walking. Now, these kind of resting point for women at every mile, we don't find them today, even though a lot of people carry their load on their head. But at that time, 100 years ago, there were people, there were rulers who had some consciousness. There were all kinds of rulers. They were exploitative, they were discriminatory, all kinds. But there were also some wise rulers who had concern for our society. How would we know that if we didn't walk? If we were in a car or a motorcycle, we will pass by that and not even notice it. So walks help us to notice things that we will otherwise ignore. And we come across examples of innovations, traditional knowledge, educational innovation. A lot of examples where teachers have found new ways of teaching. In Andaman, there's a teacher, Chanchal Sarkar. Two of the students were walking with us who had just passed 10th class. One of them was the
Sir, can you switch on the light?
lights. Okay, sure. No,
No, not at the back.
Not the back. Yeah, I'll do that. Is it better?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Sorry. If my face appeared dark. But I hope that the things I'm sharing are throwing their own light, hopefully compensating for the darkness of my room. So this boy was walking with us. I stayed in his hut. His both parents are farm laborers. They had one bed, rest slept on the ground. They gave the bed to me that night. They go at 5 o'clock. His parents go for cutting grass, cutting crop, or whatever. They don't have a tap, so they had to bring water from the common tap 2 yards away, 50 yards away. But he was a bright boy. So the teacher told us that, look, sir, I can find many such kids. If you can help them, that will be wonderful for our region, for Andaman region, because there are not too many role models. So we said, all right, come over. So Gyan supported him, got him admission in a polytechnic. He finished his diploma this year and went back to Andaman. Now, sometimes there are examples. Sometimes we come across kids who are very bright and we try to do what we can in those cases. We also have pooled the open source content for education, and we distribute these pen drives in the schools. Class 1 to 12, all subjects, all topics, whatever our students could find, we have pulled them together. This was done by IMA students. Many of you can do that. Many of you can develop open source content in your own language. We still don't have in Indian languages a lot of open source content. But these kids, bright as they are, deserve to get attention. And I don't know how many of you know that during COVID, parents of 60% children, Shajia, welcome. I will just come in a minute to you. Shajia from Kashmir has joined. Welcome, please. आपका बहुत बहुत स्वागत है. मैं अभी आपसे बात करूंगा. आपका अभी ऑडियो ज्वाइन नहीं हुआ है, कर लीजिए. So 60% parents of 60% children did not have a smartphone. तो कैसे वो ऑनलाइन एजुकेशन करेंगे? कभी सोचो इसके बारे में. Because we are able to talk to each other because we are having facility of internet and we have either phone or laptops or desktop which we can communicate. But there are a lot of kids in this country who don't have. So only way we can do that. And one of my students in a class told me that if you carry the pen drive and with the OTG cable, they will connect, teacher will have a smartphone, we will connect to that micro USB and a normal USB on one side. And then the content can be shared with the students in the class. That solved the problem of a lack of internet or lack of computers. And we could reach our content to them. So a lot of things that we learn when we go in this Shodhya class, we find the constraint, we find unmet needs, and we try to address them. And as I told you, many of the plants which we have, one plant I will like to particularly refer from Sikkim. If some of you are interested, I mentioned that in IPER also, that Anamika was having headache and she wanted to miss a particular meeting we were going to. And then our driver Sanjay went down to his hut, to his home a few yards away, brought a root of a particular plant, crushed it and asked her to smell it. And in no time, her headache had gone. Then I gave it to Rohan, who assistant collector in that district, who's also our former student. And now he did IAS and he's now the collector there, assistant collector there. He had migraine problem, he used it. Now we want to develop an inhaler because there's no medicine available at the moment for headache, for giving immediate relief. This could be the answer. And if we develop it, and if we try to develop in such a way that some processing takes place in the region where this plant is found, then this community will benefit and they will conserve this plant because they will get income out of it. And the scientists will benefit because you can publish paper out of it. So there are opportunities of this kind that we come across where different kinds of herbal and other traditional knowledge is found, which can have effect on solving problem of the contemporary time. So I will not take more time because innovators have come, but this is just a nutshell. You can also find reports of earlier Shodhyatra on our website. I can also share the Google folder where all these reports are, and also I can share the folder of the content. Just send me a mail, those of you who are interested, and we will be able to do that. Now, the three innovators have joined. Let me share with you who are we going to meet today so that you know who are we going to talk. So Shajia Jan has joined us. She's from Anantnag district, Kashmir. And she found a solution that she will explain to you. Just one second. So she has found a solution for a problem of some of our, which she will explain to you, and I will tell you. Now, she will tell herself. After that, we have to learn at 4 levels from each innovation. If you remember in earlier class, I had mentioned that we can learn as artifacture. So some of you who are from that hilly mountain region, who use some of our kind of vessel for making kava or tea or whatever, may use this improved design as such. That is artifacture. Second is analogic, as a metaphor. And that will be very useful because that triggers your mind to think of, okay, sustainable energy. She has done in Samawar, somebody has done in ironing press. That means you can apply that principle in many other contexts, totally unrelated context. That is analogic. Third is heuristic. The thumb rule of that solution that can be shared, that can have application in much wider domain. To give an example, one innovator found that most of our vessels in the kitchen, I'm trying to remember his name, he wasn't from Gujarat, Namika, the one who made a tawa with a ribbed bottom. So what he found, and this is a very interesting point for
Savalia.
Savalia ji, yes, thank you for your memory, thank you. So Mr. Savalia, what he found that why the heat transfer is less in the vessels that we use in our kitchen, most of them are having flat bottom. So the contact area is limited. What did he do? He made a ribbed bottom, like a corrugated. So surface area increased. Surface area increased. We asked IIP, some of you might be there from Ministry of Petroleum, Dehradun. We got a research done there, testing done there. And they found it gave a few percentage higher, 2 to 3% higher heat transfer efficiency at no extra cost. Now, if you accumulate that efficiency every day, all the time when you use tawa, it's very good. Still, it has not become a widespread principle. But the principle is the surface area. Now, it's not about ribbed bottom, it's about surface area. That is the principle that if you increase the surface area by modifying the design, then the heat transfer will become better. Now, that's a simple idea, which is a heuristic under the thumb rule. Fourth is gestalt. Gestalt is the institutional context in which Shajia works, institutional context in which these innovators work, the technology that they have developed, the scientific basis of that technology, and the culture that they have, which motivates them to solve problems, whereas others have learned to live with problems unsolved indefinitely. We will just compromise with the problem. We will justify it. We will justify our inertia by giving one or the other reason. Not these people. So we have Sanjay Bhai Tilwa, who has developed a groundnut digger, but also other tuber crops and some other crops from Gujarat. Shiv Kumar Modha, he's from Andhra Pradesh, and he has made an electromechanical device. Talk to him, you will listen to him. He will tell you how he has done that. And with what training? He's not an engineer like many of you. Ralte, he has developed several innovations, 7, 8 innovations. I met him recently in Mizoram. Very, very enterprising innovator. He has made bamboo split machine for making incense stick. So first you make these strips of bamboo, then same machine, you put them vertically and then you press it and you make splints, you make sticks. He has made poultry dressing machine. He has made noodle making machine. He has made chaff cutter for pigs. In those regions, pigs are fed pseudo stem of banana. So you know it's a very laborious task to cut into small pieces. So he has made a machine for that. Like that, he has made many machines. And he sells them at low cost. This bamboo device was at that time 5,000, maybe 6,000 or 7,000 today. Generate job in 6,000 rupees. Narasimha Bhandari, we met in Shodhyatra during our Malnad region in Karnataka. He has made dry areca nut husking machine very early, way back in 2000, maybe 3-4, around that time. And we went to his plant, home, we went to his workshop, saw him doing business. One of the early innovators we came across during Honeybee Network and Shodhyatra that we did. And I have recognized him through a presidential award. So these are the people we have. Any question before we proceed to the innovators? Any question? Few minutes, just any question, anything about Shodhyatra and about what we're going to do, and then we start. We'll invite one by one. Any query, anything, any clarification?
Good evening, sir. Sir,
Yeah,
these innovators are going to tell like how they design machine or the applications part only.
Well, you can ask them any question afterwards.
Okay, sir.
Once they make a presentation,
Yeah.
you can ask any question.
Yes. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, they will answer that question. And if you wish, I don't know how much time they have, but we will try that after their presentation, if we can divide yourself into groups, 8 or 10 groups, and then you can, 8 groups, I think, and then you can talk to them at greater length in the groups, if
Yes,
that's
sir.
possible, and see whether you can somehow get the energy from what they have done. Our idea is to sow the seeds of impatience. बेचैनी के बीज बोने हमको आज. और he's on.
Someone can also translate whatever the innovator is saying in English and put it on the chat.
Yes, that's very important. That's a good point, Anamika. So Anamika has put together today's panel, and when all the mobilization was done by Anamika and her team, it's very nice, this point that she mentioned, that in each group, we should have somebody speaking Kannada, somebody speaking, if possible, Mizoram, but he talks in English, so that's not a problem.
Sir, Shazia will speak in Urdu, I think. So Hindi people can
Hindi people can translate it for those.
And Modha ji can also speak Hindi.
Telugu,
but Hindi also he is comfortable.
Okay.
And Sanjay bhai can speak Hindi.
Okay.
And Ralte ji can speak in English. So,
yes, he can in English.
Yes.
And a little bit Hindi. Yeah. So how many have joined, Rageshri? How many have joined now? I saw you mentioned 3 of them.
Yeah. 3 of them are joining.
मोडा
जी, राल्टे जी और साजिया जी.
तो शाजिया से शुरू करेंगे हम, ठीक है ना? बाकी लोगों को फिर तुम कांटेक्ट कर लेना बाय द टाइम दे जॉइन, दैट बी नाइस. ठीक है. संजय का थोड़ा सा प्रॉब्लम रहती है कनेक्शन, उनको बोलना कोई अच्छी जगह जाकर वहां से फोन करे, ठीक है ना? अगर वीडियो नहीं आया तो कोई बात नहीं. हाँ, उनका. सो वी विल, आई विल शो यू फर्स्ट a slide of each one of them and then शाजिया आप तैयार हैं?
यस सर.
बहुत बढ़िया, आपका बहुत बहुत शुक्रगुजार हैं हम लोग ज्ञान की तरफ से आपको. 1 मिनट में इसको शाजिया का दिखाना पड़ेगा. हाँ, शाजिया जान, तो ये हैं शाजिया जान से अभी आप मिलेंगे. इन्होंने समोवर को मॉडिफाई किया है, कोल की जगह गैस से बनाने का इंतजाम बना दिया है, और ये 10-15 मिनट में 25 कप चाय बना लेता है. तो इनको अवार्ड भी मिला है. अब मैं इनको बोलूंगा कि वो आपसे बात करें. शाजिया जी, आप अपना वीडियो ऑन कर पाएंगी?
यस सर.
हाँ, कर दीजिए. लोग आपको देखना भी चाहते हैं ना, आपकी बात सुनेंगे आप. हाँ. तो बताइए जरा, आपने क्या किया, बता दीजिए, सबको बताइए, और कब किया था? बहुत साल हो गए इस बात को शुरू किए हुए आपने.
गुड इवनिंग एवरीवन. मेरा नाम शाजिया जान है. मैं साउथ कश्मीर अनंतनाग से हूँ. मैं 2012 से इनोवेटर रही हूँ. मेरी सबसे पहली इनोवेशन है कश्मीरी गैस समोवार। इस समोवार को 10 प्रोटोटाइप्स को बनाने के लिए मुझे फाइनेंशियली सपोर्ट भी मिला है, जबकि मेरी इस इनोवेशन की मार्केटिंग डिमांड भी बहुत ज्यादा है। और इसके अलावा मेरे बहुत सारे आइडियाज भी है। मेरे माइंड में हर बार कोई ना कोई नया आइडिया आता है। जब भी मैं अपने घर में कोई काम शुरू करना चाहते हैं तो नेचुरली मेरे माइंड में कोई आसान तरीका आता है। मतलब हर बार मेरे माइंड में नए नए आइडियाज आते रहते हैं, फिर भी मैं अपने आइडियाज को जाने नहीं देती हूँ। अपने घर के मतलब उन आइडिया से मैं कोई ना कोई चीज बना लेती हूँ, जिनसे मैं अपने घर के कामों में इस्तेमाल करती हूँ, जिन चीजों को मैं अपने घर के कामों में इस्तेमाल करती हूँ। और मेरे अभी भी कुछ आइडियाज है। आज मैं सिंक, ऑटोमेटिक अटेंसल सिंक, मतलब बर्तन धोने वाला सिंक, वो बना रही हूँ, जिसके नीचे मतलब सेंटर में मैंने एक रोटेटर फिट किया है, और उस रोटेटर के साथ मैंने एक वॉशिंग ब्रश को विद हैंडल फिट किया है। सर वो मैं आज बना रही हूँ। उसका कुछ सामान मुझे यहाँ कश्मीर में नहीं मिल रहा है, जो मुझे बाहर से ही लाना पड़ेगा। अभी मुझे टाइम नहीं है बाहर जाने के लिए, तो फिलहाल मुझे वो भी इनकम्प्लीट ही है। और सर ये जो मेरा समोवार है, इसको बस मैंने आपको बताया था कि इसकी टेस्टिंग हो जाएगी तो मैं इसको मार्केटिंग भी शुरू करना चाहती हूँ। हाँ सर,
बहुत बढ़िया। हाँ बोलो बोलो बोलो।
तो बताइए मुझे इसकी टेस्टिंग हो गई या अभी नहीं?
सर इनको हमने वो इसमें इंडियन इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ पेट्रोलियम इसमें देहरादून में भेजा हुआ है।
हाँ ठीक है।
हाँ सर, उसकी
रिपोर्ट आना बाकी है।
अच्छा ठीक है। Yeah, so let me just summarize briefly what she has said in a minute, and then we will proceed further. She said that I started in 2012 and I have developed not one but many innovations. Samovar, gas samovar was the first one. But I am now working on, she said, I keep getting new ideas whenever I face a problem. And I don't drop those ideas. I don't delete them. I don't just throw them away. I keep track of those ideas and work on some of them to find solutions. Currently, she's developing a hand-cranked washing machine, utensil washing machine. Is that right? बर्तन धोने के लिए बना रही है ना आप?
Yes, sir.
हाँ, तो उसके जो पार्ट आपको नहीं मिल रहे, हम मंगवा देंगे ना। मैं नदीम और सब्जार को बोलेंगे अनामिका, तो मंगवा देंगे।
ओके सर, उनसे मंगवा दूँ।
हाँ, आप उनको बता देना क्या चाहिए आपको, और वो हम यहाँ से भेज देंगे। अभी तो आने वाले हैं ना अहमदाबाद, तो हम ले आएंगे साथ में अपने।
ओके सर, थैंक यू सर।
22-23 में हम लोग आ रहे हैं अभी वहाँ
सर, इसके लिए थैंक यू।
हाँ, ट्रेडिशनल फूड फेस्टिवल हो रहा है, तो आप आज ही भेज देना, आज ही बता देना क्या क्या है, ठीक है ना?
ओके, थैंक यू
और
सर।
ये जो बैठे हैं ना अपने साथ, बहुत सारे 200 स्टूडेंट हैं, इनमें से बहुत सारे तो मैकेनिकल के लैब में काम करते हैं, तो आप बताओ भी ना, तो ये लोग आपके लिए कुछ बना भी सकते हैं। कोई पार्ट अगर बनाना है तो इन लोगों के लिए आसान काम है, ये बना देंगे, है ना। सीनियर आई से भी लोग हैं, बहुत सारी जगह से।
सर एक और नया आइडिया है मेरे माइंड में।
हाँ बताओ।
जो यहाँ हमारे अखरोट होते हैं ना,
हाँ।
अखरोट के पेड़ बड़े बड़े होते हैं, उनको उतारने में, अखरोट उतारने में हमें बहुत दिक्कत होती है। कुछ लोग फिर यहाँ कश्मीरी लोग जब उनके ऊपर जाते हैं तो कई बार वो गिर ही जाते हैं, डेथ हो जाते हैं। इसलिए मैंने सोचा है कि एक लांस बनाऊं। लांस को बोलते हैं हम, जिससे हम अखरोट तोड़ते हैं, उसको हम कश्मीरी में बोलते हैं लांस। वो लांस अभी हमें ट्रेडिशनल है, उसमें कोई मॉडिफिकेशन नहीं है, ना वो मार्केट से मिलती है। उसके लिए मैंने सोचा है कि एक इस तरह का लांस बनाऊं, जिससे हम मतलब नीचे से ही सब अखरोट मतलब तोड़ सकते हैं। उसको मैंने सोचा है कि उसको एक वाइब्रेटर मशीन नीचे से फिट करूं, ऊपर से एक कुंडी, जिसमें वो मतलब पेड़ की वो टहनी होती है ना, उसमें फंस जाएगी, और नीचे से वाइब्रेट मशीन को ऑन कर देंगे तो सभी अखरोट नीचे आ जाएंगे।
क्या बात है, क्या बात है, जरा तालियां बजा दीजिए सब लोग इनके लिए भाई। दिस इज अ वंडरफुल आइडिया। देखो बैठे बैठे उन्होंने, शी हैज गिवन सेकंड आइडिया which is about how to pluck walnut from the trees, and what she's saying is that conventional system of a long pole, large, she called that, has not been modified for last 100,000 years, whatever time. And what she wants to do is either to attach a hook and a vibrator so that it will, the ripe walnut, because of the shaking of the branch, may fall down. That's an idea. शाजिया, एक काम और भी कर सकते हैं, कर्नाटक में एक ने किया था कि एक बड़े लंबे पोल से एक साड़ी को बांध दिया और उसको टहनी पे लगाकर उसके ऊपर तोड़ा, तो सब जो है वॉलनट नीचे आ गए, साड़ी के ऊपर फिसलते फिसलते नीचे तक, उन पे कोई खराब नहीं होता, कोई टूटता नहीं, कोई डैमेज नहीं होता। पके हुए वॉलनट के लिए अच्छा काम है, कच्चे वॉलनट तो खैर टूटेंगे नहीं।
चलिए नहीं सर, पके हुए
हाँ, पके हुए जो है वो आ जाएंगे आराम से। लेकिन ये आपका आइडिया बहुत अच्छा है, और ये सब हमारे साथ जो स्टूडेंट्स बैठे हैं ना, इन सबको सोचना पड़ेगा कि कैसे आपकी जो प्रॉब्लम्स हैं उनको सॉल्व करें, और ये प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व होनी चाहिए, क्योंकि हमारा समाज ने, अब देखो ना, शाजिया को जो चिंता है वो बाकी लोगों को चिंता नहीं है क्या? कश्मीर में इतने सारे लोग वॉलनट से अपनी जिंदगी चला रहे हैं, लेकिन नहीं सोच रहे, शाजिया सोच रही है जो। तो बच्चों, साथियों, दिस इज एन वेरी inquisitive, impatient mind. She is working on a utensil washing machine.
सर एक और आइडिया है
अच्छा,
मेरे।
एक और आइडिया बताओ
सर, यहाँ हमें कश्मीर में बहुत सर्दी होती है, आप लोगों को भी पता है।
हाँ,
हमें यहाँ एक रूम को हमाम बनाना पड़ता है, वो आपने सुना ही होगा, हमाम।
हाँ, गर्म पानी के लिए ना।
हाँ, उसको लकड़ी जलानी पड़ती है,
हाँ,
उसमें ऊपर से पत्थर होते हैं, वो पत्थर गर्म होते हैं, फिर सर्दियों में हम लोग
वो कमरे को गर्म करने के लिए।
हाँ, उसमें बैठते हैं। हमें वो हमाम बनाने में पूरा 1,00,000 रुपया लगता है। अब मैंने नया आइडिया सोचा है कि मैं कुछ इस तरह का हमाम बनाऊं जो हमें बस 10 से 12 हजार तक बन जाए, बस 10 से 12 हजार में बन जाए। उसे हर कोई, मतलब हर कोई गरीब से गरीब घर में भी इस्तेमाल कर सकते हैं।
सो फ्रेंड, मैं बता दूं, मैं सबको बता दूं आपने क्या।
हाँ सर, वो भी मैंने कुछ इस तरह का सोचा है कि मैं एक बेड टाइप का हमाम बना लूंगी, उसमें मैं एक वाटर बॉक्स फिट करूंगी। हाँ, वाटर बॉक्स। उस वाटर बॉक्स को जैसे हमें गीजर में वो सेंसर लगा हुआ होता है, उसमें वो लगा लेंगे, जब पानी गर्म होगा तो ऑटोमेटिकली बंद हो जाएगा, और जब वो थोड़ा सा ठंडा हो जाएगा तो ऑटोमेटिकली ऑन हो जाएगा। और हम उस पर थोड़ा सा कुछ शीट उस वाटर बॉक्स पे हमें थोड़ा जाल टाइप का कुछ स्टैंड लगाना है। फिर उस पे ऐसे, पता नहीं आप लोगों को समझ आ जाएगा, लेकिन मैं बोलती हूँ, उस स्टैंड पे हमें फिर कुछ चादर वादर बिछा सकते हैं और आराम से बैठ सकते हैं। उसको मैंने 3-in-1 बनाया है, मतलब कि गैस पे भी, पावर पे भी, बिजली पर भी और लकड़ी पर भी। वो मुझे बनाना है, वो मुझे बहुत तड़प है कि बनाने कब आ जाएगा वो मार्केट में, क्योंकि हमें यहाँ हर घर में हमाम बनाना पड़ता है। हमाम में बहुत पैसे लगते हैं, उसमें तकरीबन 1,00,000 लगता है, इसलिए मैंने ये आइडिया सोचा है।
बहुत बढ़िया बात कही आपने, बहुत अच्छी बात कही है। और ये जो है, हमारे जो स्टूडेंट्स हैं PRL के या फिजिकल रिसर्च या जहाँ भी हीट एक्सचेंजर पे काम होता है, अगर वो लोग थोड़ा सा जुड़े शाजिया के साथ, उसको हेल्प करें डिजाइन करने में, so what we need to store the heat. Traditional way is storing in the stones. बुखारी भी जो होती हैं, वो बुखारी रात को 3 या 4 घंटे तक गर्म रहती हैं, उसके बाद वो ठंडी हो जाती हैं। तो ठंड है ना।
हाँ सर, वो तो है, लेकिन जो ये पानी होगा ना, मेरे हिसाब से अगर कभी लाइट भी चली जाएगी तो वो पानी 3-4 घंटे गर्म रह सकता है। मतलब जिस बेड पे हम सोए रहेंगे वो 3 से 4 घंटे बिना लाइट के भी गर्म रह सकता है।
हाँ, तो क्या होता है कि आपको पता होगा, many of you might know that in Kashmir there is so much cold that people keep hot water bottle inside the quilt also. That means when they sleep in the night, they carry hot water bottle to just warm themselves up. It's so much of low temperature. So what she's saying is that if you use water, now she doesn't know that sometimes the burnt oil is a better retainer of heat than water. और जो बॉयलर में हीट, बॉयलर में ना कुछ ऑयल के पाइप लगा देते हैं शाजिया, वो ऑयल जो होता है वो ज्यादा देर तक हीट को रखता है अपने पास और छोड़ता रहता है. तो ये उसके अंदर हम डिजाइन में आपकी मदद करेंगे. खाली पानी तो जल्दी गर्म होता है, जल्दी ठंडा होता है ना उसके अंदर, लेकिन ऑयल जो होता है वो देर से थोड़ा जल्दी गर्म होगा, देर से होगा, लेकिन ज्यादा देर तक हीट रखेगा.
सर उस टाइप के पार्ट्स लगा लेंगे जिससे वो
देर तक गर्म रहे. So I'm appealing to all our friends here, all the students here, to think. She has shared in the last 10-15 minutes 6-7 ideas. Can you imagine?
आप देखिए यहाँ की जो वॉलनट ट्रीज होते हैं कितने बड़े होते हैं.
हाँ, दिख रहा है ना, आपको दिखाया
मेरे पीछे है ना.
हाँ, आपके पीछे है.
ट्रीज है.
हाँ. नहीं शाजिया, आपने बहुत सारी बातें बताई हैं. ये लोगों के दिमाग को आपने खोल दिया आज, इनके दिमाग को झंझोड़ दिया आपने. You have shaken the mind of many of our friends, young friends here. They are certainly inspired, but they are also instigated now to think about how can this science and technology that is there in their labs be connected to the innovators like you. आपकी शाजिया बहुत बहुत मेहरबानी. आप कुछ और कहना चाहती हैं? मैं दूसरे के पास जाऊँ, आप बताइए.
थैंक यू सर.
बहुत बढ़िया. तो शाजिया ये सारी चीजें आप लिख डालना है कागज पर, है ना?
हाँ सर.
और जो आपके दिमाग में खाका आ रहा है वो आप बना दो कागज पर पेंसिल से, ठीक है?
ओके सर.
हाँ, सोचना नहीं है कि वो सही है कि नहीं, उससे अच्छा बनता है, वो सब हमारा काम है. बाद में हम लोग देखेंगे, मैं इन स्टूडेंट्स के साथ शेयर कर दूंगा और इनमें से कोई ना कोई आपकी कुछ ना कुछ नए मटेरियल ढूंढेंगे. ये लोग ऐसे मटेरियल ढूंढेंगे जो ज्यादा देर तक गर्मी को रख सकते हैं. वो रिसर्च तो हुई है. कोई विल समबडी लाइक टू इंटरवीन जस्ट नाउ फ्रॉम एनी ऑफ द फिजिक्स लैब or any of the mechanical lab? Anybody would like to say a few words on her before we proceed? Anybody has a quick thought to share?
और भी मेरे बहुत सारे आइडियाज है फिलहाल. और
शाजिया, मुझे तो लगता है कि एक क्लास सिर्फ आपके साथ ही लगानी चाहिए थी, जिसमें आपके सारे आइडियाज सुनते. हम करेंगे ऐसा इंतजाम, मैं करूँगा, दोबारा बुलाऊंगा आपको और आपके सारे आइडियाज को सुनवाएंगे. कोई भी आइडिया छूटेंगे नहीं, क्योंकि आप जैसी बहनें बहुत कम है ना अपने देश में. हमारे को बहुत तलाश रहती है. हमारे पास वुमेन इनोवेटर्स, महिला जो नवसर्जक हैं, जो इनोवेटर हैं, आप जैसी बहुत कम हैं. तो इसलिए ये बहुत, खुदा ने आपको एक नेमत दी है कि आपके दिमाग में बेचैनी से हर प्रॉब्लम दिख जाती है आपको और आप उसके लिए कुछ ना कुछ सोचती हो. ये बहुत बड़ी बात है, बहुत बड़ी बात है. मैं चाहता हूँ कि हमारे सभी स्टूडेंट्स जितने भी प्रेजेंट हैं यहाँ पर, दे ऑल मस्ट लर्न टू बी इंस्पायर्ड बाय योर एबिलिटी टू आइडेंटिफाई द अनमेट नीड and offer a solution. You are not just looking at the problem, you are also trying to think of solution. तो ये आपका बहुत बहुत मेहरबानी. शाजिया जी, आप रहिए क्लास में, आप औरों को भी सुनिए, है ना? अगर आपके पास समय है तो थोड़ा सुनते रहिए बाकी लोगों की बात, ठीक है? अब मैं आपको मिजोरम ले जाऊंगा, ठीक है? मिजोरम तो नहीं गई ना आप कभी, लेकिन मिजोरम भी पहाड़ों में है. आपका तो वेस्टर्न हिमालय है ना, वो ईस्टर्न हिमालय में है. तो जाते हैं अभी अपन पहाड़ चलते हैं और देश के एक कोने से दूसरे कोने में पहुंचते हैं, ठीक है?
थैंक यू सर.
हाँ, तो मैं राल्टी जी का स्क्रीन शेयर करता हूँ, उसके बाद में आप लोग लेट मी फाइंड राल्टी. Yeah, so this is one machine that Ralte has developed. Earlier he had his friend, but now he works alone. And he has developed many other machines, as I told you. He will talk about them. And this is in sense, he has sold this to many communities in different parts of the world. And so far, the incense sticks were made by a knife. And you know, China exports to us about 24 rupees a kg. Our cost was coming to 30-40 rupees because of our time-consuming method and very primitive tools using the knives. Therefore, this innovation that he has done is very interesting. So you pull the handle back, you put the bamboo, then you make this, you make slices or strips as they call it. Then you put the strips vertically, one after another. And then this machine, the same machine, will cut them into sticks. So it's a multi-purpose machine. And I now invite Rajiv. Rajiv ji, aap aa gaye? Switch on kariye apna, remove your, open your mic I'm not able to see
Okay,
you.
thank you very
Yes,
much.
yes. Like Jola Ram.
I'm
Very happy to have you.
really
Welcome
grateful
you. Welcome you.
to
Yes, it's your time
Professor
now. Yeah, please
for
go ahead.
inviting me to this project. But I cannot speak fluent English or nor Hindi. I'm very sorry for that. So
To be sorry, you will tell.
that,
You tell it slowly and slowly. But I want that you should tell about various innovation, not just this, but other innovation also. Please go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to tell you this machine. This is the machines for splinting machine, bamboo slice splinting machine. In Mizoram, where we have lots of bamboo, this machine is for a square stick machine. Let me. This innovation relates to provides a bamboo provides a processing device which can be easily and precisely process bamboo stick for bamboo craft and craft to a specific thickness, even to an unskilled workers. The object of the invention is to provide manually operable bamboo splint making machine which is safe and non-cumbersome. Another object of the invention is to provide a bamboo splint making machine with better option of feeding the bamboo into a machine. Yet another object of the invention is to provide a portable, cost-effective, easily installable bamboo splint, strip and stick making machine. In this machine, the machine is comprising a main longitudinal body or base, which is secure with a sliding slot, referred to a rail, meaning that means having a longitudinal inner wall surface allow free moving space to thereupon. The product is fabricated from locally available raw material used in building, construction, and although this is quite convenient. The machine would, this machine intervention will prove workmanship. In Mizoram, bamboo is the most desirable material for making splint for agarbatti incense stick. Henceforth, all the bamboo splinting had to be done by hand in Mizoram, which is a tedious and time-consuming process, and only workers with expertise can perform. Secondly, the problem is even more acute in the case of slicing the bigger sliver of bamboo, which are used to make standard agarbatti instances. In the conventional bamboo splitting process, user has to split each bamboo manually, which involve high drudgery, is time-consuming with high concentration and accuracy. Henceforth, all the conventional bamboo splitting process are either operated manually or by cumbersome machine, which are rich in nature and or expensive. None of the technology had been developed before. So, having understood the need for the reliable, efficient, and easy operate light and portable machines for making agarbatti stick suitable for rural areas for the growth of bamboo industry in the state, with the aim of providing self-employment for rural population, having easy access to raw materials, and with personal encouragement from the state, from the workers and other entrepreneurs. After considerable and financial investment, time and hard work, bamboo working machines meeting the above mentioned required have successfully been developed at low cost. The material have been trial tested many times. They welcome the success of the farm and put great hopes on the simple machines for the rapid growth of industry. But right now, this machine is for squeezing machine. Other machine for rolling the machine is rolling agarbatti. That I don't know what to say. That one is machine is developed. So this squeezing machine is not preferred right now. So I'm planning to make another
machine which will make the sticks cylindrical. You know, the sticks at the moment have edges. There are square kind of edges, cubical.
Yeah, square is not.
Whereas what he's saying is that market wants cylindrical, round stick.
Round stick. They prefer round
stick.
That is
one area which he has identified for improvement of his machine.
I'm planning to make a round sticks, a round square stick for that semi-automatic round stick. So I finished around 70% for this machine.
Cost, how much is the cost? Cost कितना है इसका अभी जो बनाते हो अभी?
50,000 rupees.
नहीं, जो मशीन आपने दिखाया था अभी, जो मैनुअल मशीन है, उसका कॉस्ट कितना है?
Which one?
The one that you showed, the printing machine and the square
square stick is 5,000 rupees.
5,000. So for all these years, you have not changed the price. 10 years ago, also it was 5,000.
Pardon?
I said the price was same for last 10 years.
Yeah, same. Same for last 10 years. Yeah.
Look at friend, look at this. The price of material has gone up.
Yeah.
Steel has become
the machines I developed right now will be below 10,000, 1 lakh. The other machines for round stick is more than 2 lakh to 30. Yeah.
So you want, if somebody can think of a design, somebody can work with you to develop a design for round sticks.
Yes, I have idea. So I developed a prototype right now. I almost finished that prototype. So after that, I'm going to need some help from other.
No, we will help you. We will connect you to somebody. Must be there from CMARI, Durgapur. Is there anybody from CMARI here? Anybody from CMARI, Durgapur? Because that's.
I'm not a mechanical engineer.
No, I know, but I'm just figuring out.
I need some mechanical drawings also. So I cannot do that.
Anybody from Anirban? There is a way in which we could facilitate or somehow. Please talk to the director. Give my reference also that maybe your project can be to work with him and see how CMARI could help him to improve and make the design more affordable, more stable, more robust. Okay. So he's working on semi-automatic, but if we can also think of a manual one, which is much more affordable, that would be one.
So basically what the idea is like what he's thinking about semi-automatic because he needs to do that. Particularly what he might have been thought about cylindrical thing that one has to, that automatic part will be about rotating the bamboo stick and the manual part will be giving it a translation motion.
One needs a kind, I don't know whether grinder is required or rolling system is required so that the stick after being cut as a square gets rolled into another slot where it gets rolled and becomes cylindrical. That is one way to do it.
Right.
So think of it. And if you can think of something simple design, then it will be very nice help.
And this will, I think this will be the first one in the world.
So, Amika, can you put the email address of Shahjiar?
The machine I developed will be the first one.
Also. Ralti, can you also share some other innovations that you have done? Tell about them.
Yeah, one of the machine I developed is that air processing machine. Air processing is not very popular in other states. In Northeast, we're very popular. Arecanut is very popular. Many of people consume arecanut. So the workers and sellers of the arecanut dealers, the arecanut dealers have some problem, some issues while processing the arecanut. So we developed a machine for a portable machine for arecanut cleaning and dehusking machines. We sold around more than till date, we sold more than 2,000 machines, not only in India, but also in Myanmar and Bhutan also.
The Erica machine, are you referring to Erica machine?
Yeah.
So what does that do? It makes slices of Erica?
They have arecanut is we have to that nut is covered by a hard.
So it is a polishing machine. Is it a polishing machine?
No, not only the polishing. Firstly, we developed the polishing machine, but the cover of the the fiber,
so husk has to
the
be
nut is covered by hard
yes,
fiber.
Yes, husking.
Yes, that is also we already developed that machine also to go for
husking.
The husking.
Yeah, so Narasimha Bhandari today will be talking about that. He made that machine in 2003, 4 or 5, around that time. He will share. So look at him, and then I will connect, our Gyan team will connect you both.
Okay.
Bhandari can guide you or can help you because he has a lot of experience of designing that machine. So you can, both of you can share with each other, and of course Anirban will also get us some input from his end.
Okay.
And we will share your design and see whether they can make any improvement. We will try to do that as a follow-up of today's class.
Thank you.
Yeah. Anything else that you want to share, Arte? You also made a poultry dressing machine. You made a machine for chaffing the fodder for pigs. You made a machine for noodles. I remember a lot of things you did.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So you are still selling those machines?
Yes. In the market.
Nice. In the market.
But not so much. The market is not too much.
What is the machine, or what are the machines which are selling the maximum today?
Arecanut, the husking machine and the arecanut cleaning machine.
And that is the one which is selling most.
Yeah.
And you said you have sold it in Myanmar and Bhutan also.
Yeah, right.
Wonderful, wonderful. G2G model, grassroots to global.
Thank you very much.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Anybody has any question before we move to the next one? Anybody wants to have a quick question? All right, if there's no question, you can also put on the chat. You will get your questions answered. We'll come back in the later part. Rageshri, who will we invite next now? Who is the third one who joined earlier? You can.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, but remain in touch. You should listen to
I'll be,
yeah. Let us see. Rageshri, or who is the next one who has joined?
Sanjay Bhai is here, I think.
So 1 minute, I'm checking it.
Please check.
Sanjay Bhai, I think, is here.
Sanjay is here, but there was somebody who Shiv Kumar
Moda ji, yeah.
के पास डिफिकल्टी थी नेटवर्क में उनके, तो नेटवर्क का प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व हुआ क्या उनका, वो देखना पड़ेगा, वो देख लो। और
वो चले गए शायद, वो
चले गए, तो फिर संजय को ले लेते हैं।
नहीं है मोटा जी है।
मोटा जी आप आइए, आप आइए। संजय आपको उसके बाद लेता हूँ मैं।
ठीक है सर, ठीक है।
हाँ, मोटा जी आए हैं क्योंकि उनका फोन जरा डिफिकल्टी है। मोटा जी,
यस सर, नमस्कार।
Ah, very good, very good. So if your video doesn't work, we will manage with it. Please tell about yourself. What have you done? Since when have you done? What is the cost of your solution?
Sir, you can put the slide maybe.
Yes, I will do that. I will just do that.
And there is also a video there.
I see. Let me see. Video is also
Yes,
there. So let me see if I can show the video first.
Copy this link and paste it in the
No,
browser.
no, I have, yeah, but can you see the video? Not yet.
Not
Yes, sir.
yet.
Okay, let me, yeah, just 1 second. Let me share it again. ये शेयरिंग में वो ऑप्शन आना चाहिए ना वीडियो इंक्लूड करने का.
सर मैं दिखा दूं?
हाँ, आप दिखा दीजिए. Wonderful. So Moraji, we understood that you have replaced the punch card. What have you done? Is it a programmed? Have you done programming? What have you done? Please tell us.
Thank you, sir.
Please start.
Actually, I don't know Hindi, sir. Hindi, I don't know.
नहीं
I
आप
am from
थोड़ा
Hyderabad.
इंग्लिश में तेलुगु में बोलेंगे इंग्लिश में बोल सकते हैं थोड़ा बहुत इंग्लिश जानते हैं.
Yeah, I know Telugu, sir.
All right, is there anyone who will translate his voice from Telugu?
Yeah, I will translate, sir. No problem, sir. I will
Shankar,
translate.
you will translate. Okay, Shiv Kumar, आप तेलुगु में बोलिए.
Yeah, sir. For which product, sir? This is the Moda machine.
हाँ, मोदा मशीन के बारे में बताओ, फिर बाद में और मशीन के लिए बताना.
Yeah, the Moda machine అనేది ఒక ఇన్నోవేషన్ సార్, హ్యాండ్లూమ్ రిలేటెడ్ ప్రోడక్ట్. దీన్ని నేను 2004 నుంచి R&D చేశాను. 2018 లో కంప్లీట్ అయింది సార్ ఈ
Sir,
ప్రోడక్ట్.
he is telling that he has invented a machine which is used for the weaving, and he invented in 2004.
And
No,
it took him,
not
no, 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 no.
Started
He
in
started.
2004 and
he
it completed in 2018.
Ah,
Yeah.
that is.
And 2019 he got the Edwin Kriya Award.
Yeah, okay.
He gave him a global award in 2019. Yes, go ahead.
దిస్ ప్రోడక్ట్, ఈ ప్రోడక్ట్ ఏంటంటే ఓవరాల్ ఇండియాలో ఉన్న ప్రతి ఒక్క హ్యాండ్లూమ్ కి రిక్వైర్మెంట్ ఉంది సార్. నంబర్ ఆఫ్ దిస్ ఇస్ ద ఏదైతే ఒక శారీ ప్రిపేర్ చేస్తున్న ప్రాసెస్ లో పంచ్ కార్డ్స్ చాలా మోస్ట్ ఇంపార్టెంట్ సార్, డిపెండ్ శారీ డిజైన్ బట్టి. సో ఈ డిజైన్ ప్రాసెస్ చేస్తున్నప్పుడు ఏంటంటే పంచ్ కార్డ్స్ అనేవి, నంబర్ ఆఫ్ పంచ్ కార్డ్స్ అనేవి ఎంత ఎక్కువ ఉంటే అంత పెద్ద డిజైన్ వస్తుంది. డిజైన్ సైజుని బట్టి నంబర్ ఆఫ్ పంచ్ కార్డ్స్ అనేవి పెరుగుతూ ఉంటాయి. యా, మీకు ట్రాన్స్లేట్ చేయండి సార్.
So he is telling, sir, he made modification in punch cards. The more the punch cards, the more the design which looks like very beautifully. So he has changed some design, some modification in punch cards.
యా, సో ఏంటంటే ఈ పంచ్ కార్డ్స్ అనేవి ఎలా అంటే ఒక లిమిటేషన్స్ ఉంటాయి సార్. వీటి లైఫ్ కానీ, వీటి యొక్క ప్రొడక్షన్ కాస్ట్ కానీ, వాట్ ఎవర్, ఒక్కొక్క పంచ్ కార్డ్ కి ఈచ్ 5 to 6 రూపీస్ కాస్ట్ ఉంటుంది. సో నంబర్ ఆఫ్ పంచ్ కార్డ్ ఇన్ కేసు ఒక ఈచ్ లూమ్ కి నంబర్ ఆఫ్ పంచ్ కార్డ్స్ అనేవి మినిమం 4,000, 5,000 నుంచి 2, 3 lakhs, 4 lakhs, 5 lakhs వరకు రిక్వైర్మెంట్ ఉంటుంది. సో మెయిన్ ప్రాబ్లం ఏంటంటే ఈ పంచ్ కార్డ్స్ తో ఒకటి లైఫ్ ఎక్కువ రాదు, సెకండ్ వచ్చి నా కాస్ట్ ఆఫ్ ది పంచ్ కార్డ్స్ ఎక్కువ ఉంటుంది. ఇంకొక థర్డ్ ప్రాబ్లం ఏంటంటే ఎప్పుడైతే ఈ శారీలో డిజైన్ చేంజ్ అవుతుందో ఆ పంచ్ కార్డ్స్ అనేవి రీయూజ్ కావు, వేస్ట్ అవుతాయి.
Sir, he is telling that punch cards are having some particular life, and their most cost also is effective. And if you want to change any design, the previous punch cards will not be work out.
ఎస్ సార్. సో దానివల్ల ఏంటంటే ప్రజెంట్ ట్రెండ్ ఏమవుతుందంటే ఒక 20 years, 25 years బ్యాక్ ఏంటంటే స్మాల్ డిజైన్స్ అనేవి పట్టు సిల్క్ శారీలో లేటెస్ట్ ట్రెండ్. చిన్న డిజైన్స్ ఉన్నాయనుకోండి, అది ఒక ట్రెండ్ గా నడిచింది. ఇప్పుడు ప్రజెంట్ సిచ్యుయేషన్ ఏంటంటే ఈ ఆఫ్టర్ 20-25 years తర్వాత ఏంటంటే హ్యాండ్లూమ్ వీవర్స్ కొత్త డిజైన్స్ ఎక్స్పెక్ట్ చేస్తున్నారు. ఆ డిజైన్స్ ఎలా ఉండాలంటే వాళ్ళకి పెద్దగా ఉండాలి, వాళ్ళకి నచ్చిన డిజైన్స్ కావాలి. సో అలాంటి డిజైన్స్ ఇచ్చే ప్రాసెస్ లో ఏంటంటే హ్యాండ్లూమ్ వీవర్ కి నంబర్ ఆఫ్ డిజైన్ సైజ్ పెరుగుతూ కొద్దీ ఆ నంబర్ ఆఫ్ పంచ్ కార్డ్స్ పెరుగుతాయి. నంబర్ ఆఫ్ పంచ్ కార్డ్ పెరుగుతూ కొద్ది అతనికి ఇనిషియల్ ఇన్వెస్ట్మెంట్ అనేది పెరుగుతూ ఉంటుంది. అందువల్ల ఏంటంటే ప్రజెంట్ హ్యాండ్లూమ్ వీవర్ ఏంటంటే ప్రజెంట్ కస్టమర్ కి కావాల్సిన హ్యాండ్ ప్రోడక్ట్ డిజైన్ ఇవ్వలేకపోతున్నాడు.
Sir, he is telling that in early days, the sarees were designed with low flowers, small stripes and all. Nowadays, ladies are
like mango.
Ladies are preferring big designs. So for that, more number of stripes to be used. So he got some modification in that thing, sir.
Yes, sir. సో దీనికోసం ఏంటంటే నేను ఎగ్జిస్టింగ్ రన్నింగ్ మెషిన్ కు ఒక అటాచ్మెంట్ ఎలక్ట్రోమెకానికల్ అటాచ్మెంట్ అనేది స్టార్ట్ చేశాను సార్. 2004 లో స్టార్ట్ చేశాను.
ఏం మెషిన్ సార్ అది?
సార్
విచ్ మెషిన్?
దిస్ ఇస్ ద మోదా మెషిన్. దట్ ఈస్ ద వన్ ఆఫ్ ద ఎలక్ట్రోమెకానికల్ పార్ట్స్ సార్. అది ఒక నేను కస్టమైజ్ డిజైన్ చేసి R&D చేసి ఆల్రెడీ ఎగ్జిస్టింగ్ రన్నింగ్ లో ఉన్న లూమ్ కి నేను రీప్లేస్ చేశాను.
ఓకే.
యా, ఈ మెషిన్ ఏం చేస్తారంటే జస్ట్ ఏదైతే డిజైన్ ఫైల్ శారీ మీద ఇవ్వాలనుకుంటున్నారో వాట్ ఎవర్ డిజైన్, ఎంత పెద్ద ఆ డిజైన్ కి సైజ్ లిమిట్ ఉండదు, అన్లిమిటెడ్ సైజు. జస్ట్ ఆ డిజైన్ ని ఒక బిట్ మ్యాప్ ఫైల్లో కన్వర్ట్ చేసి జస్ట్ పెన్ డ్రైవ్ లో ఆ డిజైన్ మా మిషన్ కి ఇస్తే వాళ్ళకి ఏంటంటే ఆ పంచ్ కార్డ్స్ ఏదైతే పంచ్ కార్డ్స్ ఇన్వెస్ట్మెంట్ ఉంటుందో పంచ్ కార్డ్ ఇన్వెస్ట్మెంట్ అనేది జీరో అయిపోతుంది. అండ్ టైం నంబర్ ఆఫ్ పంచ్ కార్డ్స్ పెరుగుతూ కొద్ది ఆ పంచింగ్ చేయడానికి టైం మీరు ఆల్రెడీ ఇప్పుడు ప్రీవియస్ ఒక స్క్రోల్ వీడియోలో చూశారు కదా. పంచ్ కార్డ్స్ ఫస్ట్ ఒక పేపర్ మీద డిజైన్ గీయాలి, దాని తర్వాత దాన్ని ఒక పంచ్ కార్డ్ లో పంచింగ్ చేయాలి, పంచింగ్ చేసిన తర్వాత దాన్ని అంతా లేసింగ్ చేయాలి, లేసింగ్ చేసిన తర్వాత మిషన్కి ఇవ్వాలి, మిషన్కి ఇస్తే అప్పుడు డిజైన్ ప్రాసెస్ స్టార్ట్ అవుతూ ఉంటుంది. సో ఇందులో ఈ ప్రాసెస్ లో ఏంటంటే నంబర్ ఆఫ్ డిజైన్స్ కార్డ్స్ పెరుగుతూ కొద్దీ టైం అనేది ఎక్కువ తీసుకుంటుంది. మాక్సిమం హై స్పీడ్ పంచింగ్ కార్డ్ మిషన్ తీసుకున్నా కూడా పర్ అవర్ 200 పంచ్ కార్డ్ టైప్ చేస్తుంది. సో దీనివల్ల ఏంటంటే నేను ఏదైతే మిషన్ ఇన్వెంట్ చేశానో ఆ మిషన్ వల్ల ఏంటంటే జస్ట్ ఏదైతే శారీ మీద వేయాలనుకుంటున్నారో ఆ ఫైల్ ని జస్ట్ పెన్ డ్రైవ్ లో తీసుకెళ్లి ఇన్పుట్ ఇచ్చేస్తే వాళ్ళకి టైం సేవ్ అయిపోతుంది, జీరో కాస్ట్. జీరో అనేది కాస్ట్ అనేది జీరో అయిపోతుంది సార్.
Sir, you might be understanding, sir, what he is telling. The more the punch cards, the more the time, more the cost, more the labor. So he has invented one Moda device. It's a computer-aided instrument. If you feed the design in our pen drive, if we connect that pen drive to the machine, automatically that will give the print. That's what he intend to tell, sir.
So he also mentioned that in 1 hour one could only print or punch about 200 cards.
Yes,
and
sir.
you can imagine that punch card machine. And it was very difficult to change the design. If you want to make a variation on an existing design, you have to punch the cards again. Whereas in this, you can modify the same design and insert the pen drive, and you don't have to punch it. The whole cost of punching of card has been eliminated. The time spent in punch card has also been eliminated. The constraint of not modifying the existing design, but starting from zero every time a new designer comes up, that also has been solved. So these are the three major problems that he has solved. It becomes very easy, smooth, and there is no limit on.
Every saree, ఒక శారీ కంప్లీట్ అయిపోయిన తర్వాత ఒక శారీ కంప్లీట్ అయిపోతే ఒక డిజైన్ ఎక్స్పైర్ అయిపోయిన తర్వాత నెక్స్ట్ డిజైన్ ప్రిపేర్ చేయాలి అంటే వాళ్ళకి మినిమం 1 month టైం తీసుకుంటుంది. ఆల్మోస్ట్ ఒక 40,000-50,000 రూపీస్ ఇన్వెస్ట్మెంట్ అవుతుంది ప్రతి వీవర్ కు కొత్త డిజైన్ శారీ మీద ప్రిపేర్ చేయాలనుకుంటే. ఇప్పుడు ఏంటంటే శారీకి ఆ ఇన్వెస్ట్మెంట్ అనేది ఎవరీ శారీ ప్రతి ఒక్క శారీకి ఒక్కొక్క డిజైన్ వేసుకోవచ్చు. ఇన్వెస్ట్మెంట్ అనేది ఎవరీ టైం జీరో అవుతుంది. అలాగే టైం కూడా ఎవరీ టైం జీరో టైం, జస్ట్ 2-3 seconds మాక్సిమం హాఫ్ మినిట్ లో పెన్ డ్రైవ్ లోంచి డిజైన్ ఫైల్ లోడ్ చేసుకోవడం, వర్క్ స్టార్ట్ చేసుకుని వెళ్ళిపోతుండడం. ఇది సార్.
Wonderful. So even the uploading of pen drive doesn't make us time. Earlier he's saying it used to cost almost like 50,000 rupees to get the new design incorporated into punch card into the machine into the weaving patterns. So all that time has been saved now, cost has been saved, and the ease of modification of the design has been achieved. How much does it cost, Shikumar?
This is around 50,000 to 55,000, sir.
That's all?
Yes, sir. That is the complete
machine. Looked very complicated, but if in 50,000, और अभी आपने कितना बेचा है कुछ?
Sorry, sir.
Have you sold some machines?
इन्ने अम्मार इंतवరకు ఎన్ని machines అమ్మారు?
Some machines from around 10 to 15 machines, sir. But we are looking the investment, sir. The Palle Sujana Brigadier Officer, we are trying to got the investment and everything, sir. Maybe on end of this month, end of this year, we can start the production, mass production, sir.
Very good, very good. I'm so happy that an innovation that we scouted. Palle Sujana is our partner, Honeybee Network partner in Andhra and Telangana.
The Brigadier sir is my godfather.
Brigadier Ganesham, he is very kind and helped in getting. But if anyone of you,
one more product is already invented, sir. One more machine. This is already I applied the 2022 SBN award recently.
Yes.
This is the one more innovation, sir. It's already running in market. More than 100 machines are sold.
What is it for?
This machine is also same handloom related machine. This machine is actually previous machine, modern machine is reduce the investment and the time to weaver, initial investment and weaver. This machine is the reduce the weaver stress, sir, physical stress.
Oh.
Yes, sir. Actually, this one line I will tell you about this invention, sir. Actually, every day in the overall across India, handloom weaver, every day, they can lift the 20 to 45 kgs weight with the leg. Every day, minimum 3,000 to 5,000 times every day. It is continuous routine work.
Just a minute. Let me tell everybody. Did you follow? 25 to 35 kg of weight you have to move. 45 kg weight you have to move with the legs 2 to 3,000 times every day. Imagine the stress on your knees,
minimum, sir.
On your feet, how much of a stress these weavers are facing. It must be affecting their joints. It must be affecting their health. So you have now, what have you done?
Lifetime work, sir. Continue work till 70 to 75 years. They can do the continue work. Maybe after 40 to 45, getting the 40 to 45 years, they can start the knee pain. Any weaver, sir. Even I am also weaving. I am also facing this problem, sir. Now, as an Indian survey, handloom survey, overall Indian handloom 28.2 lakhs handloom weavers are working till now. In this handloom weavers, 71% is the women weavers and 28% is the men weavers.
Right.
And both are 45 age above weavers, more than 14 lakhs. Sir. And handicapped weavers also is working, sir. 1.5 lakhs handicapped weavers. Every person it will require the machine. Sir. It is just I invented the one machine, small machine. Just put into the loom. One small switch is I will give a small switch. That is the like the force is like a calling bell type. Just they can put the button, button. The complete weight for 20 to 45 kg divert into machine, sir.
So it will move.
Where did you got basic idea actually? Where did you got the basic idea from? There might be some fire or something like that in your mind.
Yes, sir. Actually, నేను ఏంటంటే ఒక 1 year back ఈ ఇయర్ స్టార్టింగ్ లో ఒక ఫేస్బుక్ లో ఒక హ్యాండిక్యాప్డ్ వీవర్ వీడియో చూశాను సార్.
ఓకే.
అతనికి ఏంటంటే ట్రైన్ యాక్సిడెంట్ లో 2 legs లాస్ అయినాయి. అతను వీవరు 2 legs లాస్ అయినాయి. అతనికి 2 డాటర్లు, ఒక వైఫ్.
You can continue in English. Your English is not good. You can continue in English.
Okay. Actually, in this year, starting year, I saw one of the video in Facebook, sir. One of the viewer. Actually, he lost 2 legs in train accident. He have 2 daughters, wife and mother. He is the one and only source for them. He is the viewer in Telangana, one of the village Pochampalli. He presently, after see the video, I call them. I call him. So what is your work? How can you do the work? They told me I am begging, sir. I only have a weaving work. But till now I am not weaving I don't have legs. So presently I am weaving I am not weaving. I am waiting for the money from any visitors visit to Pochampalli. They waiting for money. అంటే అతను మనీ కోసం బెగ్గింగ్ చేసుకుంటున్నాడు. 2 పిల్లలను పోషించుకోవడం కోసం, వాళ్ళ భార్యని అతని తల్లిని పోషించుకోవడం కోసం అతను మగ్గం పని తప్పితే ఏమీ కాదు. అతను వెయిట్ చేస్తున్నాడు. సో ఆ వీడియో చూసిన తర్వాత నేను ఏం చేశానంటే వెంటనే అతనితో మాట్లాడిన తర్వాత వెంటనే ఒక 1 week లో మిషన్ రెడీ చేసి ఒక మిషన్ తీసుకెళ్లి అతను లూమ్ కి ఇన్స్టాల్ చేశాను. లూమ్ కి ఇన్స్టాల్ చేసి అతనికి లెగ్స్ లేవు కదా, లెగ్స్ లేకపోవడం వల్ల ఏంటంటే ఆ బటన్ స్విచ్ అనేది హ్యాండ్ కి ఇచ్చాను సార్. హ్యాండ్ దగ్గర ఇచ్చాను. అతను ఇప్పుడు హ్యాండ్ ప్రెస్ చేసుకుంటూ మగ్గం నేర్చుకుంటున్నాడు. తర్వాత ఒక 2 months తర్వాత అతని వైఫ్ కూడా మగ్గం నేర్పించి ఆమెకు కూడా ఒక మిషన్ ఇన్స్టాల్ చేయించి అతను కూడా మా ఇద్దరు కలిసి ఇప్పుడు మగ్గం నేర్చుకుంటున్నారు. మొన్న ఒక 2 weeks 3 weeks బ్యాక్ అతనితో ఫీడ్బ్యాక్ తీసుకున్నాను సార్. అతను తీసుకుంటే అతను ఒక మాట అన్నాడు, నేను నా భార్య ఈ రోజు ఇద్దరు కలిసి 30,000-35,000 రూపీస్ మనీ ఇన్కమ్ సంపాదించుకుంటున్నామని చెప్పాడు సార్ ఈ మిషన్ వల్ల. వాళ్ళ పిల్లలను పోషించుకుంటున్నాడు, హ్యాపీగా నా పిల్లలు చదివించుకుంటున్నాను అని చెప్పి అతను చాలా మంచిగా హ్యాపీగా ఫీల్ అయ్యారు సార్. తర్వాత ఆ వీడియోని చూసిన తర్వాత చుట్టుపక్కల ఉన్న విలేజెస్ లో ఉన్న వాళ్ళందరూ వచ్చారు, ఆడ మిషన్స్ తీసుకున్నారు. 100 మిషన్స్ వరకు, మోర్ దాన్ 100 మిషన్స్ వరకు ఇప్పుడు సేల్ అయినాయి సార్. అంటే ఈ మిషన్ ఒక్క హ్యాండిక్యాప్డ్ వీవర్ కి కాదు సార్, ఏజ్డ్ వీవర్స్, ఉమెన్ వీవర్స్, యంగ్ వీవర్స్ కి ఏంటంటే భవిష్యత్తులో ఫ్యూచర్ లో నీ పెయిన్ రాకుండా వాళ్ళకి భరోసా ఉంటుంది. అంటే భవిష్యత్తులో ఇంకా వాళ్ళకి ఒకవేళ మగ్గంలో దిగితే ఒక 40 years తర్వాత ఏమన్నా మోకాలి నొప్పి వస్తుంది ఏమన్నా భయం లేదు సార్. కంటిన్యూగా మగ్గం నేర్చుకోవచ్చు టిల్ లైఫ్ ఎండ్. వాళ్ళ రిటైర్డ్ అయ్యే వరకు మగ్గం నేర్చుకోవచ్చు సార్. లేడీస్ కానీ, ఏజ్డ్ వీవర్స్ కానీ, యంగ్ వీవర్స్ కానీ, హ్యాండిక్యాప్డ్ వీవర్స్ కానీ, ఎనీవన్ ఎలాంటి హ్యాండ్లూమ్ కన్నా సూట్ అవుతుంది సార్ మిషన్. 28 lakhs హ్యాండ్లూమ్ కి మిషన్ 100% రిక్వైర్డ్ సార్.
Gupta sir, the main function of the machine is it will reduce the stress of legs, and those who are not having legs also they can operate. It is useful for women, youngsters, old people, whoever may be useful for weaving, sir. He is telling like that.
Yes. సో దీనివల్ల ఏంటి మెయిన్ బెనిఫిట్ ఏంటంటే ఓవరాల్ గా ఈ హ్యాండ్లూమ్ ఫీల్డ్ ఏమైపోతారంటే ఈ మెయిన్ దీని క్యాప్షన్ ఈ ప్రోడక్ట్ ని ఎందుకు ఇన్వెంట్ చేశాము అంటే హ్యాండ్లూమ్ వీవర్స్ ఏం చేస్తారంటే ఒక 40 వాళ్ళు ఫస్ట్ లో మగ్గం నేస్తున్నప్పుడు బాగానే ఉంటుంది సార్, ఒక 10 years వరకు బాగానే ఉంటుంది. తర్వాత మోకాలు నొప్పి స్టార్ట్ అవుతుంది. ఈ హ్యాండ్లూమ్ వీవర్లు అనేది చిన్న ఏజ్ ఉన్నప్పుడు ఒక 15 to 16 years ఉన్నప్పుడు వీళ్ళు మగ్గాల్లోకి వెళ్ళిపోతారు. మగ్గం నేర్చుకోవడం అలవాటు అయిపోతుంది, వాళ్ళు చదువుకోరు. సో వాళ్ళకి ఏమి చేయాలో అర్థం కాదు, నెక్స్ట్ వర్క్ ఏం చేయాలి అనేది ఏమి తెలియదు వాళ్ళకి. ఈ మగ్గం చేస్తూ ఉంటారు. ఎప్పుడైతే మోకాలి నొప్పి స్టార్ట్ అవుతుందో వాళ్ళు మగ్గం చేయలేని పరిస్థితికి వస్తుంది. తర్వాత వాళ్ళు వేరే వృత్తికి పోలేక ఆ మగ్గం చేయలేక చాలా ఇబ్బంది పడుతుంటారు సార్. హ్యాండ్లూమ్ ఫీల్డ్ లో మెయిన్ ఇదే చాలా ప్రాబ్లం. సో ఈ మిషన్ ఉండడం వల్ల ఏంటంటే వాళ్ళకి భవిష్యత్తులో ఎలాంటి పెయిన్ కాకుండా మగ్గాన్ని కంటిన్యూ చేయొచ్చు. ఏజ్డ్ అయిన వీవర్స్ మళ్ళీ మిషన్ తో మగ్గం వీళ్ళు కంటిన్యూగా వర్క్ చేయొచ్చు. దీనివల్ల ఏంటంటే మన అంతరించిపోతున్న హ్యాండ్లూమ్ వ్యవస్థని ఇంకొక 100 సంవత్సరాలు మనం కాపాడుకోవచ్చు సార్. వీళ్ళకి ఫిజికల్ స్ట్రెస్ లేదు, అటు ఫస్ట్ మోదా మిషన్ వల్ల ఇనిషియల్ ఇన్వెస్ట్మెంట్ లేదు. ఈ రెండు కలిపడం వల్ల ఏమైపోతుందంటే వీళ్ళకు మన హ్యాండ్లూమ్ వ్యవస్థని వీళ్ళు ఇంకొక కొన్ని తరాల వరకు ఇలాగే కంటిన్యూ చేసుకుంటూ పోవచ్చు సార్.
Sir, the main motto of this machine is to reduce the stress on knees and legs, and also he is telling that it is a better way to carry forward the conventional weaving, so that India can carry over this conventional weaving for years together if we utilize this machine. What is he intend to speak, sir?
నేను వీడియోస్, ఫొటోస్ అన్ని మీకు వాట్సాప్ కానీ మీ అనిల్ గుప్తా సార్ మీ మొబైల్ నంబర్ నా దగ్గర ఉంది సార్. సో నేను మీకు వాట్సాప్ పెడతాను సార్, లింక్స్, ఆ వీడియో లింక్స్, ప్రోడక్ట్ ఎవ్రీథింగ్ మీకు కంప్లీట్ గా డీటెయిల్ పీపీటీ డాక్యుమెంట్ ఎవ్రీథింగ్ మీకు వాట్సాప్ పెడతాను సార్ మీకు.
ఓకే 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 मैं लिख देता हूँ यहाँ पर
सर. This is the second innovation, sir. I already applied the ACSIR-Unmet 22 award for this product, sir.
Good. Now let me tell everybody what is HBN Kriya. HBN Kriya Honeybee Network Creativity and Inclusive Innovation Award. These are global awards, and these awards, he was one of the winner of this award last year. Jan coordinates this on behalf of the Honeybee Network, and this award was started in 2020, and in 2021 we gave the first award. Now the next award will be alongside the Conference of Parties in Egypt sometime in November. Now these awards we got last year, 2,500 entries we reviewed from 87 countries, and we gave award to 10 innovators from 8 countries. Only he was one of them because his work appeared to be so magnificent. The jury includes professor from MIT like Sanjay Sharma, who was dean at the time and director of the technical of EdTech, mechanical engineering professor, professors from Solution Exchange, from Taiwan, from Korea, from all over the world. We had some of the top scholars and practitioners as a member of the jury, who then helped us to select from the short list of about 70 or 80 innovations, the final winners. So HBN Kriya Award, anybody can apply for that. Any adult person, any child even can apply for HBN Kriya Award. And all of you are eligible to apply. What Shiv Kumar is referring to that जब आपको award मिला, when you got the award, it gave you access. Many people must have contacted you, Shiv Kumar, isn't it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And what is your educational background?
Sorry, sir.
आपका education, how much education do you have?
Actually, I discontinued intermediate on 1997, sir.
Now, I want everybody to notice this.
Yeah, but సార్ ఒక్క ఈ విషయం ట్రాన్స్లేట్ చేయండి సార్ వాళ్ళకు. నేను చదువు ఏది ఇప్పుడు ఏదైతే నేను ఇన్నోవేట్ చేశానో వీటికి ఉపయోగపడలేదు సార్. నేను ఎందుకంటే నాది హ్యాండ్లూమ్ బ్యాక్గ్రౌండ్ కాదు. నాకు 2004 వరకు, అంటే నాకు 24 years ఏజ్ వచ్చే వరకు నాకు హ్యాండ్లూమ్ అంటే ఏంటో తెలియదు. అప్పటికి నేను చదువుకున్నాను కానీ నాకు అది ఏమీ తెలియదు. అనుకోకుండా ఒక స్మాల్ విలేజ్ కి నేను మా నాన్నతో కలిసి విజిట్ చేయాల్సి వచ్చింది. ఆ రోజు ఫస్ట్ టైం ఒక హ్యాండ్లూమ్ వీవర్ని చూశాను. నేను వీవర్తో ఒక 10 minutes టైం స్పెండ్ చేశాను సార్. టైం స్పెండ్ చేసినప్పుడు అతనితో ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ అడిగాను, ఏంటి హ్యాండ్లూమ్ లో ఏమేమి ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ ఉన్నాయి, ఎందుకు మీరు ఇంత ఇబ్బంది పడుతున్నారు అన్నప్పుడు అతడు ఒకటి ఫస్ట్ పంచ్ కార్డ్ రిలేటెడ్ గురించి చెప్పారు. దానిని కానీ ఎవరైనా చేశారనుకో మా లైఫ్ చేంజ్ అయిపోతుంది అని ఒక మాట అన్నారు సార్. దానివల్ల నేను తర్వాత ఆఫ్టర్ స్టడీస్ అన్ని పక్కన పెట్టేసి ఓన్లీ దీని మీద కాన్సన్ట్రేషన్ చేశాను సార్. 2004 నుంచి R&D చేశాను సార్.
Sir, he is telling that his entire education is not at all useful in making this instrument. At the age of 24, he went to some village and he asked the weavers, what are the problems you are facing? Then they replied that they are having problems with this punch card and this weaving. So since then he worked together on that issue, and since 2004 to 2018-19 he worked on the particular issue. That's what he is telling, sir.
Yes, and I think our friends, all of you, Shankar, thank you for translation, but all others who are listening to this, doesn't matter from which background you are, but you will appreciate, before I call we invite the next innovator, that Shiv Kumar represents not a very exceptional example where people with very limited education, formal education, have solved design problems. You have heard about Malaysian who designed the ASU machine. There is Deepak Bharali in Assam who has designed the magnetic bobbin. And Amika, we have to get magnetic bobbin machine sent to Shiv Kumar because this will add one more feature. You know, Shiv Kumar, when you move bobbin from one booty to another, the thread goes behind the sari, thread is to be cut.
Yes, sir.
The magnetic bobbin does away with that. It does not need any cutting or wasting of thread. So we will get you one sample sent from Deepak Bharali. Try to see whether it can be incorporated in your machine. Then it will bring even more advantage to your design.
Okay, sir.
Because as many of you who have used saris, Pochampalli or other double ikat saris, many times these saris, not Pochampalli, but other saris which have on one side design. Pochampalli is a double ikat, but single ikat design. They have threads on the other side. You may have seen them being cut. That wastage of also happens and the time is wasted. So Deepak Bharali has done that. But look at the point that with intermediate dropout can design such complicated machines which have remained unchanged for hundreds of years. Yes, Shiv Kumar, log aapka number पूछ रहे हैं, so that there is a Muhammad Qasim, he also is coming from Weaver family. He wants your contact. तो आपका chat पे डाल दोगे? Yeah, Anamika, can you put his number on the chat and so that our GAN team can put it? We'll put it just now.
Sure, sir.
Yeah. So Shiv Kumar, anything else? अभी आपका next dream क्या है? What is your next dream?
Next dream, वो आफ्टर 5 years తర్వాత సార్ ఒక్క హ్యాండ్లూమ్ వీవర్ కూడా మన ఈ నీ పెయిన్ అండ్ బ్యాక్ నీ పెయిన్ వల్ల కానీ ఈ ఇన్వెస్ట్మెంట్ వల్ల కానీ హ్యాండ్లూమ్ వీవర్ అనేవారు ఎవరు బాధపడకూడదు సార్. నా డ్రీమ్ అదే సార్. నీ పెయిన్ ఇది బెటర్ సొల్యూషన్ సార్. ఈ మెషిన్ మీకు ఇప్పుడు వాట్సాప్ పెడతాను సార్, నేను వీడియోస్ మీరు చూడండి, మీకు క్లారిటీ వస్తుంది సార్ ఆ మెషిన్ ఎలా వర్క్ చేస్తుంది ఏంటి అనేది. ఒక 5 years లో హ్యాండ్లూమ్ వీవర్స్ ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ అనేవి జీరో చేయాలి సార్. దిస్ ఇస్ మై టార్గెట్ అండ్ విజన్ సార్. One and only vision.
What is the cost of second machine?
Second machine is the price started from 12,000 to 25,000 sir. That is depending upon loom model and loom weight. That is in Pochampalli area their total weight is around 20 to 25 kgs. That type looms, the 12,000 machine is enough. But all over India, in Kanchipuram, Andhra, Varanasi, like Varanasi. Yeah, in this area, they are using the weight of the loom around 35 to 45 kgs weight, sir. They can lift it.
Okay.
So that type of loom, we can give one more machine that is started from 20 to 25, 26, 7,000, depending upon the requirements, sir.
Okay.
The maximum is 12,000 to 27,000, the maximum
Good,
price.
good, very good. Anybody has any other question? Quickly, one or two clarificatory questions, and then I will go to Sanjay Bhai, who's also joined us. Sanjay Tilwa from Gujarat. But just 1 minute, I'll wait if anybody has to ask anything. But look at the time it took him, 14 years, 14, 15 years to solve a problem, which if he had cooperation and collaboration with people like you, maybe it could have been saved to 5 years, maybe 7 years. That was possible. So I like that you may consider this case study, these cases that you're going through, that all of them are struggling alone, solving very complex problem. So Shiv Kumar's email address is given here, sivakumar.moda@gmail.com. So my friends who are asking this, his contact, can send him a mail. But please see whether our mission, our ideas can be fertilized by the examples that we are seeing. Now I will move to Shiv Kumar. Please stay tuned. You may like to listen to other stories also. So I will move to Sanjay Tilwai. Sanjay ji.
Sir, this is your number, a small request, sir. This is the one I'm telling you, 98250-14437.
This is my number.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, noted.
Anamika will also give her number. So Sanjay, welcome. स्वागत आपका भाई, स्वागत.
नमस्ते, कैसे हो आप?
बढ़िया, तुम कैसे हो?
बस बढ़िया है सर, सीजन चालू हो गया है।
सीजन चालू हो गया और इस साल तो काफी बड़ा सीजन है ना आपका?
हाँ, अभी सीजन चालू हुआ है जस्ट, तो लंबा सीजन चलेगा क्योंकि स्टेप बाय स्टेप सोइंग हुआ था ना ग्राउंड।
हाँ, यही कह रहे, बारिश बीच में आई थी, फिर
बारिश आई थी, तो लंबा सीजन चलेगा ये।
लंबा सीजन चलेगा आपका, ठीक है। तो संजय भाई बताइए अपने बारे में, अपनी पहले पढ़ाई, गांव पढ़ाई, इसके बारे में बताओ, फिर कैसे आपने ये बनाया, कब से बनाया। थोड़ा ये बच्चे जो हैं, ये स्टूडेंट्स हैं सारे देश के, और इनको थोड़ी प्रेरणा मिलेगी आपसे। मैं ट्रांसलेट करता जाऊंगा बीच बीच में।
हाँ जी सर, मेरा नेटिव प्लेस जूनागढ़ डिस्ट्रिक्ट में जापोदड़ गांव है, ठीक है, वहाँ का मैं रहने वाला हूँ। अभी मैं राजकोट में रहता हूँ। जापोदड़ जहाँ हमारा फार्म है, मेरा पापा भी खेती करते हैं, तब मैंने ग्राउंडनट निकालने वाली मशीन बनाई थी, ग्राउंडनट डिगर। तो 2007 में मैंने पहला मशीन बनाया। तो वो बनाने के बाद एक बार फेल हुआ, दूसरी बार भी फेल हुआ, वैसे करते जा रहा था। 2009-10 में मुझे चेतन भाई मिले जूनागढ़ यूनिवर्सिटी में।
हाँ, मुझे मालूम।
वहाँ पे बुलाया, बोले आप इनोवेटर हो। इनोवेटर किसे बोलते हैं मुझे मालूम नहीं है, वो शब्द भी आपसे मिला है कि इनोवेटर इसको बोलते हैं जिसने नया बनाया। तो बाद में मुझे पता चला कि ये नया इनोवेशन है, इसलिए मैं काम कर रहा हूँ। तो 3 साल लगे मुझे उसको स्टार्ट करने में। 3 साल के बाद थोड़ा चेंजेस करके बाद में चलता गया, तो वैसे मशीन सक्सेस हो गई। और हमने वहाँ पे गांव में भी चलाया, आजू बाजू के गांव में चलाया, और जूनागढ़ एग्रीकल्चर यूनिवर्सिटी को भी चलाने दिया। तो वहां से भी थोड़ा मॉडिफिकेशन मुझे मिला कि भाई ऐसे चेंजेस करो तो ये मशीन चल जाएगी। तो वैसे करके हम मशीन में सक्सेस हो गए। बाद में आप
एक मिनट। तो संजय hails from Jambodar village in Junagadh, but he now is based in Rajkot. His father is a farmer, he is a farmer. They used to grow groundnut. To dig the groundnut required a lot of labor. So he started this 2007 में शुरू किया ना आपने?
हाँ, 7 में सर। हाँ जी सर।
And it took him about 3 to 4 years. He failed 2-3 times in designing this machine, but finally he succeeded. और बताइए फिर क्या हुआ?
और बाद में 2013
I should also mention, he had gone for testing of his machine to Agriculture University, and our colleague Chetan, who is the secretary of Srashti and a very young, energetic fellow who also organizes the Shodh Yatra. So he was there, he went to that university for some work, he met him there. And then when he found out about the machine, he encouraged him and told him about Honeybee and Honeybee Network and all of us. And that's how he came in contact with us. हाँ संजय।
बाद में सर आपके आशीर्वाद से 2013 में मुझे राष्ट्रपति से अवार्ड दिया, और मुझे काम करने का बहुत उत्साह मिल गया। और ऐसा हुआ कि चलो ये प्रोडक्शन कुछ करता हूँ। बाद में रिलेटिव से थोड़ा फाइनेंशियल हेल्प लेके, पार्टनरशिप करके मैं राजकोट आया, और 2013 के बाद में मैंने प्रोडक्शन स्टार्ट किया मशीन का।
So
तो पहले
2013 he got presidential award. As some of you might know, the National Innovation Foundation, which I had set up in 2000, part of Honeybee Network at that time, has been giving awards every 2 years biennially to grassroots innovators, awards and appreciation. And in 2013, if I remember right, it must have been by Pratibha Patil ji थी ना उस समय तो?
क्या सर?
अवार्ड राष्ट्रपति उसमें प्रतिभा पाटिल जी थी ना?
नहीं सर, प्रणब मुखर्जी थे 2013
अच्छा, 13 में
हाँ जी।
प्रणब मुखर्जी आ गए थे।
हाँ।
हाँ, तो 13 में तो फिर फंक्शन राष्ट्रपति भवन में हुआ था ना?
हाँ, राष्ट्रपति भवन में हुआ था सर।
हाँ। तो 2013 में he was honored with this award in Rashtrapati Bhavan at the hands of Shri Pranab Mukherjee, who also then later on encouraged us to organize Festival of Innovation at Rashtrapati Bhavan from 15 to 17, and in 18, Shri Ramnath Kovind ji, who just stepped down, his tenure ended. He then converted that into Festival of Innovation and Entrepreneurship. And later, because of COVID, the function could not be held, but it will be held most likely this year. So, संजय जी बताइए, फिर आपको अवार्ड मिला, आपको एनकरेजमेंट मिला, उसके बाद क्या हुआ?
हाँ, बाद में मैं सर प्रोडक्शन के लिए राजकोट आ गया। तो 2013 के बाद मैंने प्रोडक्शन स्टार्ट किया, तो पहले ही साल में मेरे 2 मशीन सेल हुए। ठीक है, तो 2 मशीन सेल करने के बाद तो 1-2 साल तक कुछ भी सेल नहीं हुआ। ठीक है, हाँ, तो बाद में वो खर्चा सब बढ़ता गया, लेबर का, रेंट, फैक्ट्री का सब। बाद में मैंने सोचा कि कुछ रनिंग चले और सबका खर्चा निकले, वैसा कुछ सोचूं। तो मैंने रिवर्सेबल प्लाव जो रनिंग प्रोडक्ट था वो बनाने का स्टार्ट किया। तो उसके हिसाब से मैं यहाँ पे टिक गया। तो 2016-17 के बाद धीरे धीरे स्टेप बाय स्टेप बढ़ता गया सेल। आज की डेट में हम एक साल में 200-250 मशीन सेल करते हैं ग्राउंड नट डिगर।
एक मिनट। So in 2013 he got award. Then he felt that now he should go into production of his machine for groundnut digging. He took a loan from his relatives and started a facility, an outlet in Rajkot. He sold 2 machines, but then for next 2 years, he didn't get any orders. That was very difficult because he had to sustain the labor, he had to sustain himself, he has to pay rent. So then he did work on one of his ongoing product, reversible plow, and that got him a lot of traction. But then 2017-18 or around 18-19, the demand for groundnut digger picked up because the labor shortage was being felt and there was no other solution. And he sold, how many you said? 250?
Yes, sir.
250 machine. एक मशीन की कीमत कितनी है?
सर 1,35,000 से स्टार्ट होता है। अभी मेरे पास 9 मॉडल है ग्राउंडनट डिगर में साइज के हिसाब से, और 1,95,000 के तक मॉडल है अलग अलग।
So 1 to 2 lakhs you can imagine costing machine, 250 lakhs to 300-400 lakhs worth of sale he had. करोड़पति बन गए हैं संजय जी, आप जानते हैं।
अरे सर आपका आशीर्वाद है सर।
मैं उनके घर पे गया हूँ अभी। मैं एक डेलीगेशन आया था मलेशिया से, पूरा डेलीगेशन लेके गया था। और so he has become famous not just in India but also around the world. And look at this, from a starting of a machine, 1 machine, then award, then 2 machines, then no machine for 2 years. And then he crosses the mark of 250 machines every year now. कहाँ बेचा आपने मशीनों को?
सर मैंने पूरे इंडिया में मेरा मशीन चल रहा है। और
कौन से स्टेट?
साउथ में पूरा समझ लो, कोयम्बतूर ये वाला एरिया जो तमिलनाडु का बेल्ट है, तमिलनाडु, आंध्र, कर्नाटक, तेलंगाना, और एमपी यूपी का जो बॉर्डर का एरिया है वहां पे भी चल रहा है। राजस्थान में बीकानेर वाला एरिया में चल रहा है, और सौराष्ट्र पूरा यहाँ पे चल रहा है।
Now Sanjay has sold in Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, Central India border of Madhya Pradesh, Gujarat, in Gujarat of course, in Rajasthan, in Andhra, many states he has sold his machine, Karnataka, and today now located in Rajkot. And mind you, no big company has done that. No lab has done that either. These are the innovations which are springing from grassroots. ये जमीन से निकली हैं। आपने पढ़ाई कितनी की संजय, जरा बता दो।
सर मैंने बीकॉम किया था।
So then he had no technical training. I mean, BCom is good for accounting, but not for innovation of this kind. But that's where the mind of these kind of young and energetic innovators is, that they are able to solve very complex problems. and bear the entire cost of R&D themselves. उन्होंने अपने खर्चे से बनाया ये मशीन। तो जब आपने बनाया शुरू में तो काफी खर्चा हुआ होगा ना, आपका काफी पैसा
सर
लगा।
बहुत खर्चा हुआ, पैसा जो भी हमारे पास था ना वो चला गया था, ठीक है, और बाद में ऐसे ही मशीन रह गई थी, बाद में रिलेटिव ने फाइनेंस किया और बाद में वापस बनाया।
So you know, sometimes the larger social network helps, and that's how he could do that. Anybody has any question to Sanjay Bhai? Anybody wants to find out something about this machine? How did he design? How did he solve this problem? You're welcome to
उन्होंने
ask.
और भी काफी सारे मशीनें बनाई हैं।
बताइए ना संजय भाई, बाकी मशीन के बारे में बताइए।
सर अभी मैंने एक नया मशीन बनाया, जो मेरा ग्राउंड नट डिगर चल रहा है ना, वो एक ग्राउंड नट का लाइन बनाता था, ठीक है। तो बाद में फार्मर को वापस लेबर उसमें लगाना था, ठीक है। तो फार्मर का जो इनकम है वो ज्यादातर लेबर में चला जा रहा था। मैं सोच रहा था, तो मैंने क्या किया, ग्राउंड नट डिगर जो लाइन बना रहा है, ठीक है, वो 5-6 दिन में सूख जाएगा। बाद में मैंने ट्रैक्टर के पीछे लग जाए वैसा हार्वेस्टर बनाया, ठीक है। तो ट्रैक्टर के पीछे ऐसे ही अटैच कर देना है टेलर के जैसा, और वो डायरेक्टली नीचे से ग्राउंड नट कलेक्ट कर लेगा, ऊपर उसका ग्राउंड नट का स्टोरेज आ जाएगा, पीछे पत्ता वगैरह का जो है उसका आ जाएगा। जैसे ग्राउंड नट चलाएंगे वैसे ही उसको अगर सोयाबीन चलाना है, चना चलाना है, तुअर मूंग सब चलेगा, उसमें सिर्फ जाली चेंज कर देना है। तो एक मल्टीपर्पज बड़ी मशीन मैंने बनाई है, जो अभी पहला ही मशीन था मेरा, उसमें मैंने ये धूप में ट्रायल ले लिया, जो भी चेंजेस था वो चेंजेस किया, और आज की डेट में वो पहले या नवरात्रि में पहले दिन में 2 मशीन का डिलीवरी दे रहा हूँ।
Very nice, very nice. So what has he done? You see, first you must understand that when you do the groundnut digging, the pods dug from the ground along with the plant are lying in a row by row, wherever it was planted earlier. They are lying on the surface. After that, labor was needed to collect them and put them in the thresher. So he designed a threshing machine attached to a tractor, like a trailer, and this machine has a conveyor belt, and this conveyor belt will, आपके पास फोटो है उसका तो दिखा दीजिए, ये मैंने नहीं दिखाया। हाँ, so that conveyor belt will lift the pod and plant lying on the ground. Then the machine will process pod in a separate container, leaves in a separate container, and some of the dust which will fall on the ground in the field itself. It's a very nutritious dust. It's a very rich, nutritious, proteinous dust. So nothing is wasted. Earlier, you had to take them to the threshing ground and the dust was wasted. Now, even that dust is not wasted. It falls on the ground. So it's extremely interesting solution. And I must say that, let me see if I have the video of that. Let me just see. This is the digger part, but there is also a threshing part, and I can probably show the. आप इसका वीडियो दिखा दीजिए 1 मिनट के लिए, अनामिका। वीडियो हाँ, आप दिखा दो, आप दिखा दो।
मैडम के पास होगा मेरे।
अच्छा ठीक है, वो दिखा देते, मैं दिखा देता हूँ। So let me see video. Let's see if it is. Just one second. Yeah, this is the one. This is the one. संजय भाई, आपका फोटो तो दिखा दीजिए, मैं दिख रहा हूँ वैसे।
फोटो कैसे होगा सर, देखता हूँ अभी। 1 मिनट,
फोन पे दिखा दो, फोन पे दिखा दो।
अच्छा, ये वाली मशीन है सर, अभी जो नई बनाई है हार्वेस्टर।
हाँ, वही मैं देख रहा था, थ्रेशर को हार्वेस्टर दिखा देंगे।
ट्रैक्टर के पीछे एसआईटी अटैच हो जाएगी।
ये जो है हाँ अप्रैल 7 वाला ये होगा ना वीडियो आपका?
हाँ, ये वीडियो मेरा ग्राउंड डिगर का होगा, इसका भी एक वीडियो है।
ये तो डिगर का है, इसमें आपको अवार्ड मिल रहा है, सब है, पेटेंट है।
हाँ,
लेकिन ये वाला नहीं है। ठीक है, कोई
अभी सर ये जो नया मशीन बनाया वो और ग्राउंड डिगर दोनों हमारे माननीय मंत्री श्री परसोत्तम रूपाला जी के घर पे ही दे रहा हूँ, दोनों एक एक मशीन।
अच्छा, वेरी नाइस, बहुत बढ़िया। और वो तो तुरंत इसको पास वास करवा देंगे भाई, वो बहुत ही आपको मालूम है ना, उन्होंने साथी के ऊपर छूट दिलवा दी अभी। हाँ, तो ये उनका बहुत साल से हम लोग कोशिश कर रहे थे, अब जाकर इतने साल लग गए, लेकिन रूपाला जी ने वो काम करवा दिया। तो अब छूट मिलनी शुरू हो गई, सब्सिडी मिलनी शुरू हो गई साथी के ऊपर। तो बहुत बड़ा काम हो गया, ये बहुत बड़ा काम हो गया।
तो अभी सर मेरा दोनों मशीन है ना विदाउट लेबर में ग्राउंड नट का पर काम करेगा। मूंगफली का पाक कोई भी फार्मर को अभी लेबर की जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगी।
बहुत बढ़िया,
पूरा कंप्लीट हो जाएगा।
बहुत बढ़िया। तो आई विल ओपन इट फॉर डिस्कशन नाउ। वी हैव Moda ji with us, Sanjay, Ralte, and Shija. Anyone now can ask questions before we will let them go and discuss among ourselves. किसी को भी कोई भी सवाल पूछना है about their life, about their knowledge, innovations, please go ahead. Yes, go ahead, please. Go ahead. Go ahead. Anybody, any comment, any question, any observation that you want to make for these innovators in any language, in the English, I will translate for them. और तेलुगु में मोदा जी के लिए वो अपना पटनायक will translate, शंकर will translate. Any comment, any reaction? शंकर आप बताइए ना, आपने तो सुना उनकी बात को, आपका क्या फीलिंग है? You are from Bhubaneswar. Shankar, are you there? Shankar probably is not there. Ralte ji, आप हैं अभी? Ralte ji, आप हैं? Ralte ji, Ralte, are you able to hear me? Are you there? ये चेक करना, शाजिया है अभी?
Yeah,
You're there? Okay. शाजिया आप भी हैं? शाजिया? शाजिया हैं अभी कि गई तो? ज्ञान टीम से चेक कर लो। Just check.
ऐसे साजिया शायद गई है, उस समय लाइट चली गई थी ना, तो कुछ प्रॉब्लम हुआ।
ठीक है, कोई बात नहीं, शाजिया इज गॉन। संजय हैं और वो देख लीजिए क्या नाम उनका, संजय हैं और लालटे हैं और मोड़ा जी हैं। मोड़ा जी शायद अभी होंगे ना? हाँ, मोड़ा जी हैं, तीनों जने हैं। तो एनी क्वेश्चन टू एनी ऑफ दीज थ्री इनोवेटर्स? Ralte ji, who developed the incense making machine, incense stick making machine. Shukumar Moda ji, who developed handloom modifying machine, and Sanjay, who has developed both digger and thresher. Digger, which uproots the crop, the pod from the ground, and thresher, which separates the pod and the leaves. So if anybody has any question or comment, you're welcome. We'll hold for a few minutes and then let them go, because they have been with us for almost 2.5 hours. So anybody has any question? Today we couldn't take break because of the stories. We didn't want to lose the momentum and didn't want to hold them for a longer period, but we can have a break after this. Anybody would like to share their learning, their feelings about the innovations that you have listened to? Nitin, Sonali, Josna, Dev Kumar, Gaurav, Praveen, anybody? Shekhar, Ramesh, Yogita, anybody would like to say a few things about their work? Somrita, are you there? CMERI? Anybody from CMAI would like to talk? Anirban, are you there still, or you have just check? Jyotirmay, Priya, Sangeeta, Tapan?
Sir, I send all details, new innovative product, all details to WhatsApp, sir, to your number.
ठीक है, I will share. मैं आपको इनके पूरी क्लास के साथ शेयर कर दूंगा, आप चिंता नहीं करिएगा. Yes. I got everything that you have sent. Yes.
Please check it. But definitely you want to see this video, sir. Definitely, Brigadier sir also very inspired in this video, sir. Yeah.
बिल्कुल मैं शेयर करूंगा. सारे मिलके, सब मिलके.
Thank you, sir.
बहुत बढ़िया. So friends, if there is no comment, then I will let the innovators go. We will have a break for 10 minutes. 7:30.
सर एक क्वेश्चन है.
हाँ बोलिए, प्लीज गो अहेड.
सर ये जानना चाहता था कि ये लोग अपने प्रोडक्ट्स को कॉपी होने से कैसे बचाते हैं?
This is an interesting question. So let me answer this question. पहले मैं इनसे पूछ लेता हूँ. संजय भाई.
हाँ जी सर.
जी, the question is कि आप लोगों की मशीन को कोई कॉपी करेगा तो आप क्या करते हैं?
सर मेरे हिसाब से अगर कॉपी होके स्टार्टिंग में जो भी मार्केट में हमारे साथ आएगा उससे मार्केट बढ़ेगा, कम नहीं होगा. तो हमें साथ में उसको थोड़ा बहुत चलाना पड़ेगा. दूसरा, हमारा प्रोडक्ट क्वालिटी है वो कब पता चलेगा? सामने कोई कॉम्पिटिटर होगा तो, तब तक पता नहीं चलेगा. तो स्टार्टिंग में थोड़ा टाइम उसको चलाना है. बाद में हमारे पास पेटेंट है, बाद में हम उसको बंद कर सकते हैं.
Friends, this is such a redeeming and inspiring response. What Sanjay is saying is that initially if somebody copies, he will obviously expand the market. We should not imagine that he will only cut into my existing market. When he expands the market, I will bear with it, not a problem. Once people start using my quality control system, will prove to the people that my machine is better made than one who has copied. And there are many examples of that. Third, if at all need arises later, I will see whether we should use our IP rights. They have all got patents, and I have filed patents for them. So they will assert their patent right later if they need to. But they don't think that it really bothers them too much. शिव कुमार जी, आपकी क्या राय है कि अगर कोई आपकी नकल करता है मशीन की तो आप क्या करेंगे? शिव कुमार?
Yes, sorry, sir.
If somebody copies your machine, how would you deal with that?
Yeah, it is a patent, sir. Patented, sir. We apply the patent. Yes, sir.
Would you like to file a case against him? What will you do?
Yeah, have a complete background of Palesujana, sir. They can handle the every process, sir. Yeah.
Okay.
I am my godfather and everything, the Palesujana brigadier, sir.
That's true.
If any get the problem, I inform to brigadier, sir.
Correct. That's nice. And Zalte, what is your view on this question? If somebody copies your machine, some people must have copied already, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Zalte?
Yeah, I'll file. If they copy, I'll go to the court.
But have you not had anybody copying so far?
Yes, copied, but I'm not so sure. I think they've copied, but not so sure.
Okay. So far you have not bothered about it.
అయితే నేను ఒక స్మాల్ వర్డ్స్ మీకు చెప్పాలనుకుంటున్నాను సార్. ఈ కాపీ అన్నారు కదా, పేటెంట్ కాపీ ఏంటి అనేది అనుకో సార్, మీకు ట్రాన్స్లేట్ చేయడానికి అవైలబుల్ ఉన్నారా సార్? ఎస్, ట్రాన్స్లేటర్ సార్ అవైలబుల్ ఉన్నారు సార్?
Yeah, available on market.
Yes, sir.
Translation of the patent?
Yes, sir. No. ఇప్పుడు నేను ఒక తెలుగు వర్డ్స్ చెప్పాలి, అది మీకు స్టార్ట్ కి ట్రాన్స్లేట్ చేస్తారా సార్? మీరు ఉన్నారా అని కనుక్కుంటున్నాను సార్, అడుగుతున్నా.
No, I mentioned that you will go to the Palesujana Honeybee Network Collaborator number and then they
సో దాని గురించి కాదు సార్, నేను యాక్చువల్గా అది మీకు పేటెంట్ ఎవరైనా కాపీ చేస్తే ఎలాగా అంటున్నారు కదా, దాని గురించి మీకు చెప్పాలనుకుంటున్నా. ఐ వాంట్ టు టెల్ సమ్ ఇన్ఫర్మేషన్. So that's why I need to translate my words to sir. Yeah.
Okay. Now, I may also mention that our general policy in Honeybee Network and also in NIF is that when people-to-people copying takes place, I mean, some neighboring farmer copies it, not for commercial purpose, but for his own self.
Yeah, that is I am telling you, sir. My vision is not for, I have invented the product. This is not for commercial purpose, sir. I am not for commercial base. If any that follow the copy and any can do the copy product, that way the product will go to heavy to customers, sir. That means when you follow the అంటే ఈ ప్రొడక్ట్స్ ఎవరైనా వేరే వాళ్ళు ఎవరైనా కాపీ చేసి మార్కెట్ రిలీజ్ చేసినా నేను ఇవ్వడానికి అనుకున్న వాళ్ళు కూడా కొన్ని ప్రొడక్ట్స్ వివర్కి అందిస్తారు కాబట్టి నేను హ్యాపీ ఫీల్ అవుతాను సార్. ఇఫ్ ఎనీ గో టు కాపీ ప్రొడక్ట్ ఐ యామ్ వెరీ హ్యాపీ సార్.
Look at
Because
that.
my vision is not for earning money, sir.
I fully respect that. So our idea is that if a company copies it, then we will not spare them. But if fellow farmer, fellow artisan copies, then we will be much more tolerant about that, because we don't want people-to-people fight to take place in our country. We don't want to become a litigant society. Innovators have a lot of things to do, and if we add to that fighting cases against each other, that will be difficult. But if a company copies any of these solutions, then we will definitely assert the IP right and help them to file cases. They will have to file cases, but we will help them. So this is the policy. Any other comment? Any other question? It was a good question. Any other comment? Anybody else has any question? Anybody else wants to know anything?
I have one question.
Lavanya, boli.
Sir, this product is so hit, then lack of investors in a way that like there are huge companies in India manufacturing or something. So are these people okay to sell their ideas for their companies for their commercialization, or they just want to keep for themselves? Because if these ideas are sold for already the manufacturing units, then it will be more into the market, no sir. It will reach people more, but
See,
I have a conflict.
I will ask this question to them, but before I ask, let me tell you, while we have had some success of licensing, but let me tell you that in no case has a very large amount come to the companies, to the innovators, because the licensees are generally small and technical. Only there is one case I remember, where there is a large tractor company which licensed a paddy transplanter and gave about 25 lakh rupees license fee. That is the largest amount. Otherwise, most license fees are in the order of 2 to 5 lakhs or 7 lakhs. So far, big companies have not shown interest in licensing these innovations. Although Mr. Anand Mahindra was on the board of NIF, and I was in the first 5 years, and then there were many other people who are aware of this. Almost everybody is aware of that in the business circles. But there have not been many cases where either a reasonable licensing amount and royalty would have accrued to any of the innovators so far. उनका सवाल था लवन्या का, संजय राटे और शिवकुमार जी, उनका सवाल है कि क्या लाइसेंस करेंगे आप अगर कोई कंपनी आपके डिजाइन को लेना चाहेगी और बना के बेचना चाहे ज्यादा स्केल पर, या आप खुद ही बनाना चाहेंगे?
नहीं सर, करेंगे, कोई बात नहीं, हम लाइसेंस उसके साथ
लाइसेंस कर सकते हैं ना?
हाँ जी सर, कर सकते हैं.
हाँ, शिव कुमार जी, are you also willing to license your technology to a bigger company if the need arises?
Sorry sir, repeat again sir, please.
If some big company wants to license and manufacture your machine at a larger scale,
okay,
by paying you some money, will you be interested in that?
But this is small one. My condition is actually Moda machine, one of the Moda machine previously, which I get international award. That product I got the 20 crores offer from patent sir.
Okay.
But I given only one condition. The price is not exceed to MRP price is not exceed to 50,000 sir. That is one first product. But they can't accept my request, so I directly rejected the offer sir.
Now, look at that. So there is an ethical issue involved here, that innovator did not want his machine to cost more than 50,000, which he thought was a reasonable price. But companies who showed interest in licensing his patent didn't want to accept that condition. Therefore, the deal did not take place, fell through. So Lavanya, this is an interesting dimension. Which Ralte, do you want to say anything on this issue? Has any company approached you to license your technologies? Ralte? He is probably not able to hear us. So Lavanya, that is the point. It's a good question that you asked. But in most cases, the innovators are willing, at least in 2 of the 3, the third one couldn't express, but 2 of the 3 are willing to license if with some conditionalities. Sanjay is willing to consider if it's a good offer. And Shivkumar says you should not increase the sale price beyond what he thinks is right, because he wants the solution should not become unaffordable for poorer weavers or small weavers. Therefore, he did not accept, among the 24 queries that he received, he did not accept them because they did not agree on those conditions. Any other comment or question? We can have a few more minutes of discussion. Anybody? Kiran, Nitin, Anjana, Rigzin, Rajshekhar, Simran, anybody? Subhanya?
Hello?
Yes.
Yes, sir. Actually, I had a question to them, like they have done very good invention. And did they feel, what are the challenges they have faced during, like through public or through, they will face like many problems regarding we will feel like we will leave this, what is this, all the hectics like that, if they felt like how they faced all those.
So, मैं संजय से शुरू करता हूँ. संजय भाई, उनका सवाल है दुनिया का कि आपको जो पैसे की दिक्कत आई, एक तो आपने बताया था.
हाँ.
2 साल तक ऑर्डर नहीं आया, जो कि बड़ी ताजुब की बात है 2 मशीन के बाद.
हाँ जी.
और क्या दिक्कतें आई आपको?
सर, मशीन जब चलाने गए ना, तो पहले तो फार्मर एक्सेप्ट नहीं कर रहा था. ठीक है. इसमें ग्राउंड टूटेगा, वो टूटेगा, बारिश का मौसम है और ये कीचड़ है, उसमें नहीं चलेगा, वो बहुत सारा मगजमारी चल रहा था. तो जैसे 2 मशीन स्टार्ट किया और वहां पे परफॉर्मेंस मिला ना, बाद में धीरे धीरे हम उसका रेफरेंस देते गए फार्मर का, कि भाई ये फार्मर से पूछो, यहाँ पे पूछो, वैसे करते गए. वो करने के बाद जैसे जैसे एक डिस्ट्रिक्ट छोड़ के आगे डिस्ट्रिक्ट में गए, तो वहां रो टू रो डिस्टेंस चेंज. ठीक है. तो ये मशीन वहां नहीं बैठ रहा है, तो वापस नया मॉडल करना पड़ा इसके लिए, ये डिस्ट्रिक्ट के लिए अलग. तो वैसे वैसे जैसे डिस्ट्रिक्ट चेंज करते गए और एरिया में अलग अलग डिस्टेंस मिलता गया, तो वैसे करके आज 9 मॉडल हमारे पास ग्राउंडर डिगर के चल रहे हैं रनिंग में. तो वैसे
मैं समराइज करता हूँ. Savanya, it's a very interesting point in response to your equally interesting question.
Yes.
What he said is that initially farmers had objections whether the pod will be broken, whether rain is coming, it will not work enough, there will be some mistake. Then what he did, he gave them reference of 2 of the client who had bought this machine 2 years ago and asked them to talk to them directly. So that stimulated demand to some extent. But then he faced next problem. As he moved from one district to another, he found that row-to-row distance was changing. So when row-to-row distance changes, the existing width of the harvester or the thresher would not work. So he made 9 models for different spacing levels of groundnut, because they depend upon, if the lighter soil is there, distance may be more, if heavier soil, distance may be less. So then he made 9 models to deal with that issue. And today he has huge demand, as he already explained to you, 250 machines per year. But to reach this point, he faced these 2 major challenges apart from financial.
Yes, thank you.
शिव कुमार, आपको जो बनाने का चैलेंज आया, आपको प्रॉब्लम आया, वो तो ठीक है.
I can explain in Telugu, sir.
Why don't you do that?
శివకుమార్ గారు,
మేడం గారు,
మీరు చాలా మంచిగా మన ఆంధ్ర పేరుని నిలబెట్టారు. యాక్చువల్లీ మీరు ఇది చేస్తున్నప్పుడు 15 సంవత్సరాలు కష్టపడ్డారు అని అంటే అది చిన్న మాట అయితే కాదు.
15 కాదు మేడం, 18. 18
సారీ
అవుతుంది.
18 సంవత్సరాలు మీరు కష్టపడ్డారంటే అది చిన్న మాట అయితే కాదు. కానీ మీకు ఇంత పెద్ద జర్నీలో మీకు ఎప్పుడైనా విసుగొచ్చిందా? లేకపోతే ఏవైనా ఆబ్స్టకల్స్ గానీ ఏమైనా వచ్చాయా? ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ గానీ వచ్చాయా? వదిలేద్దామా అని?
లేదు, వదిలేద్దామా అని ఏ రోజు అనుకోలేదు మేడం. బట్ చాలా ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ ఫేస్ చేశాను. ఫైనాన్షియల్ గా కానీ, తర్వాత కొంతమంది నమ్మిన వాళ్ళు మోసం చేశారు. ఎప్పుడైతే 18 crores 20 crores ఆఫర్ వచ్చిందో అప్పుడు నా ఎంట ఎవరైతే ఉన్నారో వాళ్ళందరూ నన్ను బ్లాక్మెయిల్ చేయడం, నేను ఆ 20 crores ఆఫర్ ని రిజెక్ట్ చేసినప్పుడు వీళ్ళందరూ నన్ను బ్లాక్మెయిల్ చేయడం మొదలు పెట్టారు. లైక్ సాఫ్ట్వేర్ పరంగా సపోర్ట్ ఇవ్వడం కానీ, ఫైనాన్స్ పరంగా సపోర్ట్ ఇవ్వడం కానీ, మొత్తం అంతా మానేశారు. సో అప్పటి కూడా నేను కాంప్రమైజ్ కాలేదు. ఎందుకంటే నా ఎయిమ్ అనేది, ఆ ఎయిమ్ కోసం లైక్ ఏదైతే నేను ఎయిమ్ పెట్టుకున్నానో ఈ ప్రోడక్ట్ హ్యాండ్లూమ్ వీవర్కి అందించాలని 2006 లో నేను మాది నేటివ్ టౌన్ నుంచి హైదరాబాద్ వచ్చేసాను మేడం. 2006 లో నా ఫ్యామిలీకి, మా అమ్మకి చెప్పేసి ఈ ప్రోడక్ట్ ఇక్కడ ఉంటే చేయలేనమ్మా, నేను హైదరాబాద్ వెళ్ళిపోయి నేను వర్క్ చేసుకుంటాను, ఎక్కడన్నా హైదరాబాద్ అని చెప్పలేదు, వేరే ఎక్కడన్నా వెళ్ళి వర్క్ చేసుకుంటాను, ఇక్కడ ఉంటే కష్టం అవుతుంది నాకు అని చెప్పేసి ఈ ప్రోడక్ట్ ఎప్పుడైతే హ్యాండ్లూమ్ వీవర్కి అందిస్తానో అప్పుడే నేను మళ్ళీ మన టౌన్ కి వస్తాను అని చెప్పాను. ఈ రోజుకి ఆ ప్రోడక్ట్ మార్కెట్కి వెళ్ళలేదు, నేను నా ఫ్యామిలీని కలవలేదు. 2006 నుంచి హైదరాబాద్ వచ్చేసాను. ఇప్పుడు వరకు నా ఫ్యామిలీకి నేను ఎక్కడున్నానో కూడా తెలియదు మేడం.
కానీ మీ డెడికేషన్ కి మాత్రం వెరీ హ్యాట్స్ ఆఫ్ సార్. అసలు
తర్వాత ఇక్కడ ముఖ్యంగా చెప్పుకోవాల్సింది ఏంటంటే మెయిన్ పాయింట్ సపోర్టింగ్ మేడం. సపోర్టింగ్ అంటే నా వైఫ్. కోర్స్ ఆమె లేకపోతే ఈ ప్రాజెక్ట్ చేయలేను మేడం.
అంతే కదా, ఇన్ని సంవత్సరాలు మీరు అదే ఒక యజ్ఞంలాగా చేసినట్టే.
ఎస్ మేడం, నా పిల్లలను కూడా మేము వెళ్ళడానికి ఆపుకున్నాం మేడం. మాకు 2006 లో మ్యారేజ్ అయింది. ఈ రోజు వరకు మేము పిల్లల జోలికి కూడా వెళ్ళలేదు మేడం. ఎందుకంటే అక్కడ వెళ్ళేదామంటుంది, కిడ్స్ వెళ్ళామనుకోండి మళ్ళీ లైఫ్ లో చాలా అవసరాలు వస్తాయి, చాలా ఖర్చులు వస్తాయి. సో మళ్ళీ ఎక్కడ నేను అనుకున్న ఇంటెన్షన్ డ్రాప్ అవుతాను అని చెప్పేసి నా వైఫ్ కూడా ఈ విషయంలో చాలా సపోర్ట్ చేసింది మేడం. ఈ రోజు వరకు ఇంకా పిల్లలు వెళ్ళలేదు. మొత్తం అంటే చాలా ప్రాబ్లమ్స్ ఫేస్ చేశాను, ఎక్కడ కాంప్రమైజ్ కాలేదు మేడం. సో ఇప్పటికైతే ఏంటంటే ఈ పల్లె సృజన సపోర్ట్ వల్ల మనల్ని పైకి తీసుకొచ్చిన వాళ్ళని మనం ఎప్పుడు మర్చిపోకూడదు మేడం. సో ఆ విషయంలో మాత్రం పల్లె సృజన తర్వాతే నాకు ఎవరైనా. పల్లె సృజన అంతా సపోర్ట్, వీళ్ళందరూ నన్ను ప్రాబ్లమ్ చేశారు, ఎప్పుడైతే నాకు వీళ్ళంతా హ్యాండ్ ఇచ్చారో సో డైరెక్ట్ వెళ్ళి పల్లె సృజన కలిశాను. అప్పటి నుంచి ఇప్పటి వరకు ఏంటంటే నన్ను ఒక ఫాదర్ లాగా తను ఆదుకుంటున్నాను మేడం బ్రిగేడియర్ సార్. ఏ సమస్య వచ్చినా, ఎంత పెద్ద ప్రాబ్లం వచ్చినా తనే హ్యాండిల్ చేస్తున్నారు. నువ్వు ఒక్కటే మెషిన్ మ్యానుఫ్యాక్చరింగ్ చేసి నువ్వు మార్కెట్ కి తీసుకెళ్లి వీవర్లకు అందించు, అందులో నీకు ఏం ప్రాబ్లం ఉన్నా నేను చూసుకుంటా అంతే మేడం సార్ చెప్పారు. సో 2019 నుంచి ఈ రోజు వరకు నాకు ఏ సమస్య కాకుండా కాపాడుతున్నాను. సో ఆ విషయంలో మనం ఏదో ఒక ట్యాంక్ చెప్పడము, అతనికి నమస్కారం చెప్పేసి ట్యాంక్ చెప్పడము అంటే చాలా తక్కువ అనిపిస్తుంది.
So Savanya, can you summarize quickly?
Yes. Actually, what he is saying is he also faced a lot of problems when he rejected the 24 projects. They told that they will take that to commercialization. And when he rejected that project, everyone, the technical, whoever are helping him in technically, financially, they have made him many problems. But then he didn't, for his desire, he didn't give that for commercialization. So at that time, that Palle Srujana that has helped him a lot, and his family also supported him a lot. He just came to Hyderabad in 2006 for this purpose, and till now he is in Hyderabad. He told his parents that he will come after commercializing these and handling to the weavers only. He will come back again to the village. But till now he is not in his village. He is still doing that like a ritual.
Right.
He has faced a lot of problems, but he didn't drop anywhere. Hats off to him, sir.
Yes. Ralte, are you there? The question is, what are the challenges that you have felt? If you are there, if you are able to listen to me, Ralte, can you listen to me? No, he's probably not able to hear. This question was also very interesting, Savanya, because you're right that many times when we look at a solution, we forget or ignore the hardships that the innovators go through. And in this case, both the cases, we have seen how many challenges they face, both culturally, within the family network, social network. And, he must have taken a vow, I will come back to the village only when I succeed. And he is still waiting for the funding to scale up his manufacturing, which he hopes to get by the end of this month. And then once he starts manufacturing and commercializing, he will go back to the village with head high and show the people that maine abhi kar liya ye kaam.
Yes.
So it's a pride, it's a self-respect. And Shamanya, the point again remains the same, that if some of you feel from various disciplines, so not just disciplinary, sometimes as a fellow human being, all of you have social network, all of you have connections across domains, across discipline, across institutes, across industry. And if we use that social capital to make the life of some of these innovators easy, you have to realize that they are solving problems that professional institutes, large corporations, professional engineers have not been able to solve, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
That is a fact. And if that is the case, then we should welcome the solutions which come from the ground and help solve problems for them. So thank you so much, everybody who has been very patient today. We didn't have any break, but I think the engagement, the discussion was so engaging that there was no point in interrupting that. So I thank you, everybody. Shukumar ji, aapka bahut shukriya, dhanyawad.
Thank you, sir.
We are very grateful, Anamika, myself, all the people in Gyan and Honeybee Network. And of course, thanks to Palay Sojana also for all the support that they are giving you. We are very proud to have honored you for HBN Kriya 2021 award. Sanjay ji, बहुत शुभकामना. आपकी प्रगति देखकर हमें बहुत खुशी मिलती है. इसीलिए हम लोग बाहर से भी कोई आते हैं तो आपसे मिलवाने के लिए लाते हैं. Sanjay had hosted a workshop of innovators when Malaysian delegation came here a few months ago. And it was so nice for the delegation to meet so many innovators at one place. And there were so many creative people. One of them, in fact, is no more there now, who designed a 360-degree movement of tractor. So therefore, there are many distinctions. They are not just growing themselves, they're also trying to develop new models of social development. So बहुत आभार Sanjay आपका, Shivkumar, Ralte, many thanks to you. And we will close the class with this and see you again tomorrow at the same time, 5:30. Thank you very much.
सर आप विजिट कीजिए, एक बार नया मशीन देखने आइए.
मैं आऊंगा, जरूर आऊंगा, 100% आऊंगा.
ओके सर.
अक्टूबर में आऊंगा, लेकिन मैं सितंबर में नहीं है टाइम. अक्टूबर में जरूर आऊंगा.
पक्का सर, आइए एक बार. ओके सर, थैंक यू वेरी मच.
थैंक यू, गॉड ब्लेस यू ऑल. आपका बहुत शुक्रिया, आपने इतना टाइम दिया हमारे स्टूडेंट्स को. बहुत सीखने. थैंक यू सो मच. गुड नाइट एवरीबॉडी. बाय बाय. एंड
थैंक यू सर.